Hi there, everyone. This is Jacob Michaels. Welcome to another Penguin Live lecture. We've got a very special guest tonight. We have Kainoa Harbottle from Delaware. He will be up here in just a minute. Everyone join me in a round of applause to welcome Kainoa.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello out there in TV land. It's just me, Kainoa Harbottle. Here to talk to you tonight about, well, some of my most favorite little objects here, which was coins. I'm going to be preaching the good news of coin magic to you tonight and hoping to convert some people. Coins, for some reason, scare people. And they shouldn't. Really, they shouldn't. So we'll try to ease your pain, and we'll try to move slowly, and I'll talk a little bit about theory, and I'll do some magic for you, and we'll talk about how to make coins work for you, because I see coins as sort of like, they're kind of like the gateway props to good magic, whatever that means. So let's begin with a little silver object, silver ring. Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children ease with explanation kind, the truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. There's no trick. I just was talking about the silver. So it's just the truth must dazzle gradually. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about truth tonight, or at least some of my versions of it. I want to get rid of some of the shiny objects before we get too started here going along with this stuff, because they tend to confuse people. But I do point out that this is a solid silver ring. It's made of a coin, and it begins where it ends. So we'll see if we get there, depending on time and everything like that. What I did bring for you were 4 coins, my 4 favorite coins, and I'm going to show you something right now that the reason why I brought them is because I've trained each of them to do a different trick. They're very special that way. This first coin, for instance, this is coin number 1. Coin number 1 seeks out the soft spots here on the table, like right there. So if you listen, you hear the coin go right through. That's coin number 1. Coin number 2 and coin number 3 have a very strange attraction one to the other. It's almost as if they're magnetic. And the attraction does something strange. So if I take one coin here and the other coin here, all it takes is a moment. And the one will jump to be with the other. That's 2 and 3. Number 4 is the strangest coin of all. Number 4 is a very odd coin. What number 4 does is that if you simply blow and give a little wiggle like that, it vanishes and goes back in time to where it was before on the table. See? And what's even stranger, though, if you see me put it on the table there, all it takes is a moment, and it returns to my hand. It's this weird thing about how the coin just seems to go backwards in time. It just seems to go backwards in time. You see it there, and then it goes back up. And some people say they actually see the coin go in reverse. But of course, the problem with that is that coins like that don't really exist. They don't really exist. Actually, what happens is that coin sometimes goes all the way back in time to where we started, and that was with 1, 2, 3, and 4 coins on the table. Thank you. Oakley dokley, warming up for the people at home. This is a really fun routine that I call Table Hoppers Quattro, because it's based on a trick by a friend of mine by the name of Curtis Cam, who's a bit of a coin guy out there, which is too bad because he does everything in magic very well, and it makes the rest of us very angry. But this is a trick that is perfect for walk around, for table hopping, which is where I learned to do magic. I learned to do magic walking from table to table at Curtis's show in his showroom in Hawaii. And this is a wonderful routine to do. The first lesson to be learned here is don't let the amount of props you have and the history of the props as they stand decide everything that you can do with your props. In other words, just because you have 4 coins doesn't mean you have to make them all go across. Right? Just because you have 4 coins doesn't mean you have to make them all go through the table. Just because you have 4 coins doesn't mean you have to make them all vanish. And especially if you're in one of these modes or performance where you're going to be hitting a table very quickly and you have to move on, you don't know when you're going to have to, this is a fun way to get the audience a very rich sort of flavor of what magic is and how to experience it, the different ways that it functions. It also gives you a chance to see what the audience responds to. And so if certain audience members respond to something in a particular way, like they loved it when the coin went through the table, you can go back to that And then you can do a full routine if that makes you happy. The way this works is, and then I'm also going to show you, after I kind of explain what you just saw, I'm going to show you how this is a trick that anyone can do. If you can vanish a coin, you can do this routine. I promise. I made it all sexy and weird, but I tend to do that to things. Okay, so 4 coins and a shell. The shell's just going to sit there on top of that coin the entire time. The first thing we're going to do is which is a really fun little retention pass. And depending on the type of table that you have, this is just a cute thing to do. I'm just doing a standard retention pass. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in a little bit. I don't want to get into the technicalities of the retention pass quite yet. But if I take the coin like this, I just pretend to take it. I don't even really take it. It's here. And I place the hand that is concealing the coin underneath the table, and then do a little bit of this action. See? You can get this nice sound of the coin being there. Now, if you're working on one of these sort of tabletops, one of these sort of mats, like we all do so often in the real world, this is kind of a weird thing, right? So if I remove the mat a little bit here and say we're going to aim for right there, and listen, right? You get a nice sound effect. Now, if you really want to get funky with the sound effect, you can really play with it. You can actually. You picking that up, the sound of that, the little squigglies? And so that gives a nice little mime to the moment where the coin goes through, which all I'm doing is pushing it up from the bottom. That's a very, very strong opener for this routine. Now, the next moment is one of my favorite moments, where you have the 2 coins and their relationship with one another. And this is where we have the fingertip muscle pass. And for those of you who've downloaded this at home, you get that for free. You get my tutorial on the muscle pass, on the fingertip muscle pass, as part of the enjoyment of participating this evening. And so I'll run through it very briefly, but if you're watching right now, you have the download. All that's happening is that it's a really fun move, and this also came from my buddy Curtis, where it's sort of like this weird tiddlywinks move. What's happening is that there are these 2 fields of pressure. The fingers are pushing down this way, the index fingers are pushing down this way, and the thumb is holding them in place. Okay? And if you can see, I'm pushing so hard right now that my thumb and my fingers are turning white. Right? The blood is getting pushed out. And that's how much pressure I'm holding. And what's going to happen is that the thumb is going to release, and that pressure is going to be unleashed. Sounds like much more fun than it actually is, but. And that's how it works. Now, the first time you do it, it's going to like flip backwards. It's not even going to do anything. And this is one of those things where you have to understand that it's the index finger and middle finger that are pushing the coin forward. Now, if you do it like this, which is how Curtis originally was doing it, it looks phenomenal. But you get this big thumb motion. So if you can bring the coins up like this, you cover the bigger thumb motion. And even though you get the movement of the finger, it's that propulsion is at a higher rate than this can possibly generate. It seems to be. So it's a very nice sort of illusion. And if you want to really drive that home, you can just hold the coins back there like this, and I don't know whose that is. Mike Rubenstein always tells me it's his, but I think it's one of those things that kind of just get around. You can see it just kind of go whoop, like this. And this is one of the most fun moves to do, not because it looks so cool visually, but if you just do that in front of a spectator and then just put the coins in front of them, it's like hours of fun. Because they sit there like, oh, it's not doing it. And so then you just kind of laugh it off. And then you get to do this one moment where all I'm going to do is this very standard vanish, where I'm going to do a classic palm, a toss vanish. I'm going to pick up the other coin. This coin's concealed, and allow that coin to travel across. So to speed, we were talking about the relationship between the 2 coins. One's magnetic. It's almost as if they're magnetic, but they're really not. But all it takes for me to do is take one coin this end, the other coin over here, and the one coin jumps to be with the other one. Okay? So so you already did coins to the table. Now you did coins across. The last coin is just the fun coin, because it does a little bit of everything. This last coin, and I don't know if you noticed, but I was timing it weird because I was trying to fool the camera guys to get them to follow me away from the coin that I was going to load on the table, because I can see out the corner of my eye where the camera is. That it was focused down here. So what I did was, and this works very well. If you imagine this is in a close-up table hopper setting, this table's a little bit higher because I'm standing, and human beings, if they're sitting enjoying their evening and you were bothering them, would be right about here, right? So like, hi. Oh, I love the food, honey. Oh, I do too, dear. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. I'm an only child. So what's going to happen, and a magician, so who knew? So what's going to happen is that I'm going to do this exact same toss vanish I was doing before, where it's just this miming motion. But I'm going to do it on the table here. So I'm going to pretty much leave this hand right here. And I'm just going to give a little toss. That way this hand doesn't have to go very far. And then I raise the hand up. And if I'm not getting enough misdirection to just let the coin drop out of classic palm and leave it covered on the table, I'll even go to the point where I say, if the coin goes backwards in time, so that all I have to do is turn the hands of my invisible watch backwards. Sometimes you just got to get people up here. And now if everyone's here, all their eyes are zoom, like laser beams going from here to here. And so imagine the distance. It's very different from the camera, for the distance is from here to here. But if you're live, the distance that coin is going is from way up here, way down to here. From way up there down to here. So it's a startling thing. And anytime you can make a coin appear on the table in front of the spectator, it's going to really hurt them. Because then you're in their face. You're actually in their safety zone. Where the steak and the salad and the bread and the butter is, that's their safety zone. But now you get to invade it with your magic. Okay? So that's number one. That's the coin. The coin's simply going to go back in time onto the table where it was before. All right? Now we're going to do it in reverse. And this is one of the most enjoyable moves that I've been doing lately, where you just take the coin, put it under the table there, and it goes back in time. Okay? You just take the coin, drop it right there on the table. It goes back in time. And what I'm doing here is a version of the retention pass, which I'll teach you. It's a very fun version of the retention pass. All that's happening is I'm releasing with my thumb, and the coin's dropping onto my second and first finger. It's related to the Paul pass, the Paul vanish. It's related a little bit to some of the stuff Arthur Buckley does. He gets into all sorts of weird, crazy positions that you don't really need to. Just drop like that. What happens with the other hand is that if you do it as a retention pass, you just time it so that the hand closes. So you get this very killer burn. Sorry, I'm just entranced by the monitor. Sorry, I'm back now. But the thing is, it doesn't have to go in the hand. It can go onto the table. So this hand can actually come and cover. And you get this pretty hard. And then what I'm doing here is the rub-a-dub vanish with coins. Right? It's just the rub-a-dub vanish. So you get a nice little burn of the coin going right there under the table. There's no way it can disappear. But there it goes. It's right here. Whoop. And it goes back in time to where it was a moment before at my fingertips. All right. You're going to use the exact same vanish now to get this idea across of the coin going backwards in time. And if you can't do the muscle pass, as some people can't, this is just as good. You get this really nice, cool burn of the coin just seeming to travel upwards. Then if you can follow it up with the actual muscle pass, it gets even better, which is what I'm doing there. Last but not least, you just have to vanish this coin. You can just give it a little wiggle like that. One of the things that a lot of people get scared about with coin vanishes, if you see a lot of guys when they vanish coins, they'll do this. And then, of course, the problem is everyone wants to look over here. Right? Standard problem with all the coin magic is that it's going to be in the other hand. And that's because most people, when they do coin magic, they don't think about symmetry. And symmetry is the take-home lesson for tonight. If you want to make a coin vanish look good, what's the difference between me doing this and me doing this? Right? Very slight technical difference. But by matching the hands to the coins, or matching the hands, I get this. I create this more easily create the impression that that there's been a complete vanish. Here, I'm literally just taking the coin. I'm literally just taking the coin and putting it right in the muscle pass and just dropping like this. And this hand's the dirty hand, it drops to the side. This hand's the very clean hand, it comes over. And now Mr. Shell, that's been sitting here comfortably on top of the other coin all this time, very innocently, gets to go into play. You simply reach over and lift off the shell. Put it down there, and that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Any questions from you guys? No, any questions about this stuff here? Now, my question would be, Kainoa, you said anyone could do that. I can't do that. Anyone can do this routine. There's two things to think about with this. Number one, they don't have to go across. They don't have to go through the table. They don't have to go backwards in time. This is a moment of freedom for you and creativity. Maybe this coin is, what this coin does is not go to the table, maybe it goes down the sleeve. Maybe this coin doesn't necessarily go like onto the table, maybe it goes behind my ear, all right? These coins can all do different things. Maybe this coin, I stick my finger through this coin. Maybe this coin becomes Chinese. You have all these different options in terms of what you want to do and what the effects you can do. Now, the other way to think about this is that if you only have one vanish, you can do all this. You can do exactly what I just did. If you have one vanish, you can take a coin. I'm just going to do a very standard classic palm vanish, which is the first vanish I ever learned. The coin's in classic palm. I just push down with my middle finger and turn it over. My buddy Theo Fanning taught me this when I was in 8th grade. And it's actually a retention pass because the image of the coin sticks to this middle finger. And it just goes over. So if I can vanish this coin, that one goes to the table, right? If I can take this coin and vanish it, that one can go across, right? This one can go back in time. And I can just lift off the shell, right? So if you can do one move, you can create multiple effects. I mean, that's what coin magic does in very interesting ways that people tend not to think about, and I'm not quite certain why. I think it's because we get stuck in ruts a lot of the times with certain props. If you don't have a shell, you can do the ending that was from the original routine, because the original routine didn't have a shell. If you're here, you make this last coin just seem to vanish. It doesn't go backwards in time. This time what happens is that you can see that I have only 3 left now. And all I'm doing here is a utility pass, the very standard move out of Bobo's, but I'm doing more of a friction style. I'm just letting the coins go from hand to hand like this. Gravity and my hand and the surface tension of the coin on my hand is what's holding the coin back. Now this is bad magic. Okay? But if I bring it up, if I just cover a little bit, that's 3 here, that's 3 here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I need to do this, but I have to do this trick for some other people. I hope you don't mind if I can borrow this one from you, sir. Is that okay? A lot of people, for some reason, tend to start by producing a coin off of a spectator. Don't. One of the strongest things you can do in magic is produce a coin off a spectator, which to me is kind of ridiculous. Don't you think? There's no difference between me doing this, or me doing this, or me even doing that. It doesn't matter. Technically, all I'm doing is taking my thumb and pushing the coin out from behind my fingers. But if I come over here and do this to him, it gets a response out of lay people like it just doesn't deserve. But you know what I mean? And it's not because, and I'm not trying to be snarky about it, I'm just saying there's something really interesting going on here. And part of it is that idea, like I was saying, when you make the coin appear on the table, it happens in their safety zone. If you produce a coin off of them, it happens in their safety zone as well. So I strongly urge you that if you want to produce a coin off of a spectator, or if you want to produce a coin off a spectator, don't start with it, end with it. It's an ending. So now you don't have to carry around all those jumbo coins, because I know each and every one of you have like 5 of them in your pockets right now. You know what I'm saying? You can. Yeah. That was the jingling noise I heard coming in here. I thought it was something else. So anyway, any questions about this? Table Hoppers Quattro, very useful, and again, it's only open to your creativity. Okay, cool. Yay! And there's a bunch of rejoicing. Oh no, thank you. Let me show you something else that's perhaps even more disturbing. One of the things that a lot of people, things that people do with coins that I think is very strange is that they tend to think of coins as packet tricks. Does that make sense? Like you have your coin purse. Well, if you're a man, you have your coin pouch. And you take the coins out, you do a trick with the coins, and then you put them back in the pouch, and you put them away, and that's all they do. And what I'm very much interested in is how can you do magic how can you make your coin magic not just about one trick, but about a whole routine. So what I'm going to show you right now is the very first routine I started with, that I came up with while table hopping at Curtis's place, and you'll see that it has a very interesting structure to it. So anyway, I'll stop talking now, because I have over here a silver coin. Who knew that there was going to be coins here tonight? This is a fun coin for me because what happens is all I have to do is give a little wave, and it always gets me a second coin, just like that. That's 2 coins. The third coin always comes out over here at my elbow, giving me 1, 2, and 3 coins. Now, what's neat about this is that sometimes I can take us a little back in time, a little bit further back in time, before I had 3, when I only had the 2, and before I had the 2, when I only had the 1. Now, what's odd about this one is that when I take the 1 and just a little shake, it vanishes like that and goes all the way back into my pocket. Now, just like before, it's very simple. I just simply give it a little wave, and I can get a second one to appear. And then whenever I want to, I can get the third one to appear. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, that was the wrong elbow. It's this one over here. That's right. There it is. That gives me all 3 coins. Now, the reason I brought these 3 coins is to show you something very interesting and kind of fun. What these 3 coins do is very strange. They actually like to travel around. If I just touch my thumbs together like that, 1 coin travels from one hand to the other. Have you all seen the movie Ghostbusters? Mm-hmm. What are you never supposed to do in Ghostbusters?
Cross the streams.
Whatever you do if you're a magician, never cross your arms. It's like tying the magician up. So you know that the magician has to be pretty darn good if, even with his hands crossed, he can make the magic happen. I need a little bit of help from somebody. I'll keep picking on you because you're here. I'm going to give you the 2 coins. I just need you to hold on to them tightly for me. Hold on your hand, please. Thank you very much. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. See, they're a little jumpy. See, you gotta hold on tight. You gotta hold on tight here. And you see how many there? Mm-hmm. 2?
Yep.
Good. Excellent. Go ahead. Close up your hand. Turn it over. Smile. Good work. And make sure you're holding it tight. I can't sneak anything out, right? Mm-hmm. Or worse yet, I can't simply sneak something in. Go ahead, open your hand and spill the coins out on the table for me so that everyone can see how many coins you have. Like an expert. Thank you very much. Give him a round of applause. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 coins. Of course, the hardest part isn't doing this. The hardest part is actually stopping. So even when I put these coins away, the first one still comes back. As does the second one when I simply give a little wave like that. That's 1 and that's 2. The third one always comes out over here behind my elbow. So remember how we started before we had all these coins? Remember I took us back in time? I'll do it again. One more time with that coin there. This last coin vanishes visibly. Only recently did someone finally ask me, can you vanish something visibly? I said, yes. Watch. No, I can tell you're not impressed. We'll use this one over here. It's fine. This one is, actually, if I could vanish it visibly, I'd have to do it so that I didn't cover it, or didn't hold on to it, I guess. I have to cover it because there has to be a little bit of mystery, right? Just a little bit. So keep your eye on the coin. All that's going to happen is I'm simply going to give a little wave. That coin's just going to melt away. A memory misty, like a dream. No, I'm not going to explain all of that because then everyone would just be angry and then I'd have to do like 15 card tricks after that. So, but what I will do is show you a couple little bits and pieces of this routine. This is a routine called trifecta, and it's been around for, well, since I started really doing coin magic. You have 4 coins, but you don't have to palm them all. In fact, 2 of them are going to live in your pocket for most of the time, at least the beginning. What I was doing was, while I was starting off with coin magic, I couldn't do all like this really crazy sleight of hand stuff. I could do some very simple stuff. So I decided to do was, well, I could take 2 routines from the book I'm reading at this time. And the book I was reading was Dave Williamson's book, Williamson's Wonders, which is a phenomenal book. And David's got a lot of coin magic in it that's just excellent stuff. So I combined 2 of the routines, his cross-eyed coins across, and the concept of when you're ahead, you're behind, which is Mike Gallo's one behind concept. So I'm going to be able to pretend I have 3 coins when I only have 2, and it's going to make the magic a lot easier. So I have 1 coin here in finger palm. Lesson 1 on finger palm. Finger palm is, for me, the most important palm in coin magic. Some people say it's thumb palm, some people say it's classic palm, some people say whatever it is. For me, this is what it is. And number 1, I don't do the typical finger palm. I do where, you've seen a lot of the books. It's like you're a metal fan or something. I don't know, a lot of the books are a little weird. Or you love people, I don't know, whatever it is. What I'm doing here is I'm doing Ramsey-style finger palm, which is only using the 3rd finger, okay? Only the third finger. Now, would you do me a favor? Just take the coin out of my hand, out of the palm position. How hard was I holding on to that coin?
Not at all.
Most people promote the death grip technique. Or at least you see them. Beginning magicians are always like, I must hide the coin! And that's not going to work. It's about subtlety and comfort with the hands if you're going to try to make them natural. And so you just have to barely hold on to the coin. And it'll actually give you a little bit more control, a little more confidence if you're not trying to just kill the coin with your finger. So the third finger is excellent. What it does is it gives a nice curve to the hand. If you notice when the hand is at rest, even if I just kind of put my hands down to the side, I'll step back a little bit so that Mr. Camera can see the hands, right? And my crotch. Okay. Sorry, I'm not getting paid enough for that show. Anyway, so the hands sort of do this little curvature, and if you stick a coin in finger palm, look at that. You know, so it's a natural sort of dead position for the hands. Plus, with the Ramsey finger palm, you can do gestures like this. You can be very Italian. You can gesture with your palm up, and people all they see is empty palm. It's really it's like the first time I saw it, I had no clue what was going on. No clue. I was getting nailed. I was like, where's the coins coming? Where are the coins coming from? And that's where they're hiding out there. So I have one coin in this Ramsey-style finger palm to keep things easy. The other coin is at the fingertips. That's how it comes out of the pocket. I have a coin. You can produce the coin if you want to. You don't have to. And then I think, what is the most important moves in all of coin magic, and it teaches you the most out of all magic in general, which is the shuttle pass. Everyone say it with me, class. The
Shuttle pass.
I didn't know if they'd do it, but they did. Look at them. That's so. That's it. What? Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm simply going to drop the coin into finger palm. And I'm going to do a finger palm. I'll turn over. I'm going to finger palm the coin. That's what this hand's going to do. This hand's going to turn palm up. And here comes the big secret move. With my thumb, I'm going to just kick that coin back just a little bit. And if you combine these motions at the same time, you get this very, very convincing illusion of the coin simply falling from hand to hand. Okay? Learning how to do this and doing the appropriate mirror work to go back and forth is, the sort of thing that you should spend really a long time doing. I mean, like to get this down, because it teaches you so much about the nature of the false transfer, the nature of how objects are transferred from hand to hand. And if you think about it, a good chunk of magic is about things being in control of objects. So this is, I think, one of the more important moves to really master and play around with. And you can just sit around and do this all day long until people are like, why is he tossing that one coin back and forth? And then you know you've won. You've won. Okay? So, shuttle pass. So I simply drop the coin here. And I'll stop saying the word simply now. Or at least try to simply stop. So here, and I'm going to take that coin and wave it over the hand that has the original first coin concealed in it. And open it up. And there's the coin. Yay! Now, we're going to pretend we have a third coin. And we're going to use it using sound and using one of the more fun moves, I think, in magic is the click pass. All right? If you read Bobos, people learn a lot of this bizarre click pass that's in Bobos. Bobos has a lot of weird things about it, but one of the more interesting things that it has is this click pass, where you take a coin, you drop it here, you take this coin, and you do that. If you think about it, if I'm going to put a coin in my hand, if I'm going to put one coin in my hand, it should look like that. Okay, I'm fine with that. But if I'm going to put this other coin in here, why do I have to bring my hands together? These fingers together? Why do they have to close? Right? Why? It's because I got to get the coin in classic palm. But let's try to make things easier. Let's not use classic palm. Let's use finger palm. Okay. And all we're going to do is we're going to simply push this. Damn, I said it again. We're simply going to push this push this coin forward with my thumb to my index finger. And I'm going to drop the coin. And that's the click pass. All right? What's really neat about this is that you can get a couple of things out of it. So if I do that, I can make them both disappear. Because I don't have to release and let that coin fall. I can retain that coin in finger palm. But for the sake of what we're doing here, all I'm going to do is drop the coin here, and then pick it up and do my click pass. And it's what it should sound like and look like to the audience is that I've dropped both of those coins here. They hear the clink. Now I can produce the third coin over here from my elbow. Not really a third coin. Original, not really the original. First coin. Shh. Anyway. I add that one here, so that's 3 coins, and I'm going to do a false count of the 2 coins as 3 by simply doing the same move over again. 1, 2, 3. It's a click pass again. 1, 2, 3. This hand does this. This hand does that. It's magic. It's amazing how much you can get out of this one move. So they hear 3 coins. Now, and then I'll do the last vanish part, and then we can stop going through this. I'll skip to my favorite part, which is the coins across. We're going to get the easiest retention pass vanish you'll ever get, because they think there are 3. There's only 2. And all you're going to do is this move from my buddy Curtis's, where you simply lift this up, and this hand comes over like that. And for some reason, you get this crazy retention. They think there are 3. You see something go into that hand, and it's kind of shiny, right? Now the only hard part of the whole moment here, which is the one move, and I'm going to be showing a couple of these techniques in a little bit here. The fingertip retention pass, which I use most of the time, which looks just like this. Right? One more time. Get that one back. I do it magically, otherwise it doesn't count. This is a fun little version of the retention pass. If you see people try to teach the retention pass, or people do teach the retention pass, a lot of the time what happens is that they're holding the coin with 2 fingers. All right, I'm going to hold the coin with 1. Why, class?
More shine.
More shine. More shine. Exactly. Thanks for coming.
Someone's paying attention.
Someone's paying attention. That's good. Well, no, I mean, if you do any coin magic, you know it's all about the more surface you can get on the light, the better your retention is going to be. It also allows me to free up this second finger, because my middle finger, and I'll do my best not to do any rude gestures, because I'm going to be talking about the middle finger a bunch of times during the course of this evening. What's going to happen is the middle finger is going to do all the stealing motion here. So usually with a retention pass, 2 fingers come out and grab that coin and conceal it, right? Standard retention pass. Like that. All I'm doing is I'm moving my middle finger and just kind of grabbing the coin and tilting it. And if I tilt it far enough, notice I have this I have a 3-finger connection with this coin. It's the middle finger, the first finger, and the thumb. And if I just keep tilting the coin upwards with the middle finger, what eventually happens is that I have the coin now in a clip position. You spend a lot of time doing practicing a very small amount of motion. Now what this allows you to do is to take the coin into where I tend to put it, or at least what I tend to be known for from the book. Coins on edge. Look at the love. I mean, obviously this isn't fading because it's cheap printing. No, it's fading because someone used it quite a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, this technique that I use, and so what edge grip scares people. And if you think about what I was saying about Ramsey finger palm as being just a kick-ass palm, I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't even see the coin there, and it's right there, and the hand looks empty. If you think about it, edge grip is the evil, naughty daddy of Ramsey palm. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean? It's a better version of Ramsey palm, because what's happening is, and now instead of it being this side here, you're getting this. So you're seeing into the hand. With a Ramsey palm, there's a certain point where I can't turn out because you'll see the coin flash, right? But with edge grip, I can turn, right? You can see right into the hand. It looks crazy. And all I need to do to get my angle is see where the eye of the camera is. And what's interesting is it's higher, so it's a little. I'm really having to watch my angles here. But if you think about it, people always ask me, is edge grip angly? Is edge grip angly? I say no, because think about it. If you, how can I simulate this? Roll the chair over here. All right? If I'm performing at table side, the table will be in front of you here, right? Look at where my hand is. Look at where his eyeballs are. Can you see the coin?
No.
Can you see the coin?
No.
Can you see the coin?
Nope.
Okay, you'll get your $20 afterward. But you see what I'm...
Edge grip's a beautiful thing.
So edge grip doesn't have any bad angle problems.
You see the coins when I had them?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had no clue. I did not see the coins. Anyway, so so if you get that angle, if you can see where that angle, in terms of like if normal humans, now they have to be giganimous humans. They could be giganimous humans sitting there, but by and large, people's heads tend to line up. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I mean, when they're sitting down, they tend to be in a good location there. Are you going to make it? Okay. Just do, I don't know. Do something, whatever you have to do. Okay, deep breaths. So a lot of people ask me about the angle problems, and the only real angle problem is that if the camera or if the human is higher than me. Can we get the top camera? Because what happens to me is I'll be at magic conventions, and these people will come up to me and say, "Hey, I really love your magic. Can you show me some of your edge grip magic?" And I'm like, "You are a very tall beast. Why don't you sit down and I will do magic for you?" You see what I'm saying? So you have to watch out for those damn tall people. Because I'm not a short guy, but I'm short enough. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's an awkward place that is for some reason. Huh?
Heightfully inclined.
Heightfully inclined. Yes. So. Declining. Steadily, obviously, as the evening moves on. All right, so edge grip is your friend. The other thing that people say to me about edge grip is that it's hard. And I say there is no other palm coin concealment position in the history of coin magic. And I'm pretty certain I'm correct because I said this at Tannen's the other night and David Roth was there and he did not correct me. So, I mean, I'm pretty certain he was conscious. So I think it was okay. No, he was. And he didn't say anything, so I was like waiting to see if he would say anything, and I was like, okay, I'm clean. There's no other position in coin magic, in concealments, or any sort of concealment whatsoever, where you're actually holding on to the object. All right? If you think about an edge grip, your thumb and your finger are holding on to the coin. Right? You're not trying to conceal it here, you're not trying to conceal it here, you're not trying to do this. You know, you're not trying to clip it, which is still awkward. Your thumb and your finger are doing exactly what thumbs and fingers are supposed to do, which is grab things. So I understand if it's a little uncomfortable at first, but think about it. It is a safety position because your thumb and your middle finger, they were designed to do this. We're all kind of lobsters at heart. I don't know. Anyway, so the one other little touch that I've added to David's edge grip technique, if you read his original stuff, he has it up here, and your middle finger is not going to be able to move. You need finger movement. So I do what is pretty much a deep edge grip. It's not down's palm, because down palm is way over here and really clamps the thumb down and gives complete freedom to the middle finger. But this is right about here, okay? And you can see that there is air. There you can see blue background. Try to get some light. There we go. Blue background, right? Okay, so there's a little bit of air back here. There's a little bit of air back here. That allows me what this middle finger has to do, which is not a lot. All this middle finger has to do is get underneath this finger, this coin. And if you can do that, you can do pretty much everything you need to do. That was like 15 minutes on describing a vanish. Think about this in magic. How long does it take to learn something worth doing? You know what I mean? How long does it take to learn something worth doing? Something that only takes literally a second, that's 1/1000, to perform. How long does it take? I'm sitting around with a bunch of, I was lecturing out in California, and my buddy Tony Cabral is there. And if you don't know Tony Cabral is a hardcore, card dealing demon freak in terms of the sort of display work he does in terms of gambling stuff. And you know, I'm just saying, how long does it take? How long should you have to work on something that only takes a second to perform? He's in the back like, as long as it takes, because I mean, it's the value to you. It's the value that you put into it. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox and be slightly shorter now. All right, so this is the vanish here. So I'm doing that move. All that's happening is that middle finger is going out. I'm clipping that coin in. As I come up to take the coin, that coin goes into full edge grip. So it goes from here to here. All right? That means this coin gets to vanish very cleanly. This last coin, what I'm going to do to vanish it is I'm going to do a spider grip vanish. I'm going to take this coin, I'm going to very slowly, I'm going to try to make it look sneaky because I need to put this coin on top of this coin as quietly as possible. And when I came up with this routine, I was using Kennedy halves. And so they're not like the soft coins that I'm using here, these Barber halves, which are very smooth, and when you rub them on top of each other, they don't make a lot of noise, unlike me. I don't know what that means. I don't. So I'm going to guide the coin into the hand. I'll come around this way. I'm guiding the coin into the hand. So it's right there on top of the one already in finger palm. Okay? And as I extend my hand, my thumb is going to kick the two coins over into what's been published as nowhere palm or third finger curl palm. And so you have a nice moment where you take this coin and place it in here. So they blow. Right? The hand looks really empty. And so everyone looks at the guilty hand. Now, depending on how hot and angry the crowd is, like if the crowd likes to want to pat me down, as some crowds tend to want to do, not just for my coin magic, but yes, the coin purse, my coin pouch. I won't show this hand. I'll make them think this is the guilty hand. I'm just going to, but if I want to taunt the people, if they're tauntable, I'll flash this hand empty and then go into the pocket. And when the hand goes in the pocket, remember I have these two coins just sitting here. When this hand goes in the pocket, I reach in and I grab another coin and put it to my fingertips as one of the other coins goes into finger palm. So now it's as if they've all vanished. One comes back, and now I am one ahead rather than one behind. So if I take this coin and wave it over the hand, which is the easiest production because this coin was just there, and then you have this cutesy moment where you can come over here and produce one of the two coins that you have. Just push it over, just very quietly. If you need to be quiet because you're using coins that aren't soft, you can use gravity to help you. And that way there'll be less friction on the coin. And you can simply produce over here. What I often do is, what I'll do is I'll wave, I'll produce the second coin, and then I'll come over here and I'll produce this coin as this hand just lets one of the coins in the fan fall to finger palm. So it just looks like, so the larger movement conceals the smaller movement of the coin going right into finger palm. Plus everyone's watching you because you're looking over here at this elbow, and that's the third coin. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, I got it from the wrong elbow. Right? And it's just a cute moment because you're just stealing the coin off, producing this one over here, and you're like, oh wait, I got it off this elbow, that's right. Now you're one ahead. I won't teach the cross-eyed coins across. That's in David's book, but I'll show you the last bit, which is all about the coins across and how to put the coins into the spectator's hands. And this psychological motivation, which is what I added to the trick, is something that you can apply to any coins across. What's the biggest problem if you're going to put coins into a spectator's hand, class?
Been looking at it?
Yes. So how can we get them to not look at it? That was the question I was trying to deal with. How can we make them actually want to hold on tighter? So you make them hold on tighter by creating an effect that almost makes it seem like they made a mistake. Almost. As if they weren't holding on tight enough. So I'm going to use and abuse you for just a second. I mean, not really. You know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah, I've heard it all before, big guy. Okay. So I'm at the point where these two have gone across. I'm concealing one of the coins here, and they see this coin on display. So this coin's in Ramsey finger palm. This coin's here. I'm going to turn to this gentleman. I'm going to say, oh, do me a favor. Hold out your hand. I need you to squeeze onto the coins tightly. And as I do that, I just jam one of the two coins into classic palm. All right? Squeeze it gently. Squeeze gently. I don't know where I am all of a sudden. I'm somewhere else. I'm at a different show. Squeeze tightly, and then what I do is I grab his fingers, which is a kind of an awkward moment, except for the fact that I do this at the same time. And so the effect is that you just saw two coins. I'm going to give you these two coins. I need you to squeeze onto them tightly. And he can't close his hand because my fingers are in the way. And there's this. I say, oh, wait a minute. And I reveal, and by this time they usually declench. You know what I'm saying. They let go, and then they see that there's 2 coins over here. Now they get the idea, oh wait, Mr. Magician's going to steal a coin from me. I hate Mr. Magician. Therefore, what I'm going to do is close on tight. Not yet, because I said, wait a minute. Here, I'll give you the 2 coins. I take the one back and I show him the 2. And I do this fun little display, which is the easiest display of two coins is 3 that you can ever do. I have the stack all in Ramsey finger palm, and I push the thumb forward. I push the top coin forward. So for no good reason, this finger is sticking up, but that inconsistency flies by people. It's a 2-coin display. If you've seen Ponta the Smith's DVD, he has some very nice displays that allow you to, that is a little more freedom, but this works very nicely. I thought I invented it, and of course it was that some guy named Larry Jennings or something like that. I don't know who these people are, whatever. So here we go. So I'm going to show you I'm going to give you the 2 coins. I ask you, how many do you see?
2.
Very good. Squeeze onto it tight. I do the same move. I turn his hand over and I say, now make sure, and this is a fun line, make sure I can't sneak anything out. And all that does is convince him to squeeze harder, right? Squeeze harder. And so make sure I can't sneak anything out. So we're secure here, or worse yet, sneak something in. And now I'm going to do a spider grip vanish. I just take the coin, I literally place it right into Ramsey finger palm. And I'm going to give him a little shot at the inside, sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And then as the hand turns down, these 2 fingers, I'll come up over here. So the audience sees empty palm, and then as the hand turns down and moves forward, I just tilt the coin down, and it goes right into classic palm. One of the more difficult things is to get a coin into classic palm is to not move the thumb. But if you're already moving the fingertips, you're going to have a nice excuse to keep moving, right? And now you have this interesting moment where they see palm, 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 fingers, 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 fingers. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's a very convincing vanish. Because what I do is while I'm doing this with this hand, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. This hand's just like Mr. Guilty Hand. Right? And a lot of times what happens with the spider grip vanish is like, I take the coin and it disappears. It's gone. So why don't you use a little time misdirection? Why not motivate the opening of this hand to burn them just a little bit harder, to make it hurt just a little bit more? Take the coin, sprinkle, sprinkle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All I need you to do is, if they're sitting at the table, this is much easier, but if they're here, all I need you to do is to just spill those, open your hand and spill the coins on the table so that everyone can see. And so I just motivated this. I motivated everyone getting to see, because one of the worst things you can possibly do when you do the coins in the hand is for the audience to do this. Like, open your hand, and they do this. Wow! Right? Bad magic. Everyone at the table needs to see what?
Little anticlimactic.
It's a little anticlimactic. It says, wow, it's coins. And so that's why I usually say spill the coins gently onto the table, and so that everyone can see how many coins you have. And so any questions about that coins across or motivating that? You good? Good at home? Apparently you can tweet questions if you have them at some point. So,
Usually stays pretty quiet.
Oh, usually stays pretty quiet? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just.
People are soaking it all.
Yeah, I'm sure they're soaking. Yeah, I know what they're soaking. So, I don't even know what that means. Let me do a card trick in order to keep everybody conscious. Oh, wait. No, we'll just do this. We'll go simple. We'll do a packet trick. Everybody loves packet tricks. What's your name?
Callie.
Callie. Mm-hmm. Excellent, Callie. I have here 4 cards, the 9 of spades, the 9 of hearts, the 9 of clubs, the 9 of diamonds. I would like you to simply name one of those cards. Not like Fred, but say the 9 of hearts. Excellent, yes. The 9 of hearts. Perfect. Is there a particular reason why you picked the 9 of hearts?
No.
Oh, there is. There is indeed. Because before I came here tonight, I made sure there was one card that was a different color than the rest. And of course, that one card was, I certainly hope so, yes, it is indeed the 9 of hearts. Now, a lot of people at this point start to have those sort of weird metaphysical doubt moments. because I know what you're thinking out there. I can hear you all breathing. What they're thinking is that, well, how do I know that? What if she had said another card? Like, for instance, what if she had said, I don't know, say, 9 of diamonds, right? Or, to play devil's advocate, what if you hadn't picked a red card at all? What if you had, say, picked, I don't know, one of the black cards, like the 9 of spades? Or, what would have happened if you hadn't picked the 9 of spades at all? What if you had picked, say, I don't know, the 9 of clubs? But you didn't, right, Callie? You didn't. No. Because if you picked the 9 of clubs and that was a black card, or rather, no, you didn't, because that would mean that the 9 of clubs, then that means all the cards would be black cards, right? Except for one, which would be a different color than the rest, which would be red. I don't want to touch it. I'm a little scared. You go ahead, take it out, and show everybody what card it is. 9 of hearts. Yay! Yay! It's magic. But people ask me, does this work out the same way every time? And it pretty much does. For instance, sir, what's your name?
David.
David. Name any other card you see up here.
9 of spades.
The 9 of spades. Excellent. The 9 of spades. Because, and this is just one of those fortuitous things. If you look at at all these other cards, you'll see that they're all one color, except for one card. Except for one card, which is a. Oh no, I'm sorry. I had that all backwards. These are the cards that are all one color. This is the card that's a different. I get turned around sometimes. Now, I do know what people are thinking when they see this. They're thinking that maybe what's happening is that I'm concealing something from you. Like maybe what's happening is that instead of having 4 cards, I actually have that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8 cards. 4 9s, one of each color. But you've seen from the very start that there are only 4. Right? Right. So at this point, I can actually tell you how this is all done. I'm not doing anything to the backs. That's misdirection. Well, I'm doing everything to the faces of the cards. I can control the location of the faces. You look at me skeptically, but it's true. If I take, say, the 9 of diamonds and place it over here, or I take the, let's see, I want the other, oh no, I'm sorry, that's the 9 of clubs, I'm sorry. I take the other 9, the 9 of hearts, right, and place it over here. All that's going to happen is that if I can control the faces, what I can do is I can take the 8 of hearts, or the 9 of hearts, and cause it to travel over here. Take the 9 of diamonds and cause it to travel here. And the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait, it gets even better. I'll make them go back. Yeah. It's a bad old joke, and we all do it. But there's only one way I can really keep track of this, is that the cards with the black backs always have to be the cards with the black faces, and the cards with the red backs always have to be the cards with the red faces, and that's the only way I can keep track of things. Now, this is a new packet trick that's going to be coming out exclusively from Penguin. You need to get these special cards. You have a 9 of clubs with a red black back. You have a double face 9 of spades, 9 of hearts. You have a double backer red black, and then you have a regular 9 of hearts with the black. I'm kidding. This is just, you can go home and you can make this yourself, boys and girls. You just get matching cards from 2 different decks, and you're ready to go. This is one of the tricks that so what happened, for better or for worse, Curtis, Cam, and myself and a bunch of other guys from Hawaii went to Vegas. Why my parents let me go to Vegas with a man 15 years older than me when I was in high school, I don't know. They're just, what was that? I thought somebody moaned something weird, okay.
We're grumbling. We agree.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a little awkward, it's a little weird. So we just, it was fun, but it was a lot of fun.
Maybe they were like, get out of here.
That could very well be. My parents probably just did want to get rid of me.
Look at it now.
I know, yeah, look at me now, Mom and Dad. Haven't been home in 2 years, huh?
Yeah?
That's right, yeah. I know, I'm sorry, now I'm just going to have to start crying.
Bring the couch out.
Yeah, just have down, okay, we'll talk about it. There'll be hugs, so we'll do a group hug. Maybe I'll fall on some people. It'll be a good time. Packet trick, come on, people, concentrate. So, 2 red cards, red back, 2 black cards. We can't have fun while we're here. 2 black cards with the black back, and I use the black back just because it's more fun to talk about the cards with the black back or the black, makes sense. Why not? You can do blue backs. I mean, you can use blue backs, doesn't matter. The dark back, the cards of the dark backs of the dark faces. And what happened was that Curtis and myself went and got to see Mike Skinner perform. And Mike Skinner, and we sat down, and while he was performing in the restaurant, and he came over and hung out with us, and he did this card trick, all the nonconformists, which is this great card trick where you have them select a card, say the 9 of hearts, and you count the cards, and the one off-color card would be the 9 of hearts. And we became absolutely crazy obsessed with this packet trick, to the point where we have like 6 or 7 between us. We have 6 or 7 different versions of the packet trick, and by the end of it, there was like one card had like a big X on it. Another card had like these weird words in the back. It was ridiculous. And this is the version that I stuck with. I got weird, and I was like, okay, we're going to stick with this because this is a really great close-up trick and a really great opener. Because what it allows you to do is, and I think this is what any good opener should do, is it allows you to kind of figure out what the audience wants to see. So if I can do different effects, display them for the audience, right? If I can do different effects displayed for the audience, and I can kind of get to feel where they're going or what they're interested in, I can then tailor my magic to them in terms of what their focal point is. And so this is just a nice technique to use. Also, it's modular, so I can stop whenever I want in case the quesadilla shows up, at the table, and then I have to leave. Good night. Tip your waiter, right? Enjoy the veal, whatever. So you're here. And you start, and you ask them to, I need a suit. Young lady, suit. No, just saying, you don't have to move, you're fine. A little too eager, it's okay. This is a fun crowd. Any suit?
Hearts.
Hearts, okay, so she said hearts. Very original. So what's going to happen is, I'll stop teasing you. What's going to happen is the heart card, whatever card they call out, is going to go second from the bottom. The card that matches that card is going to go on the bottom. This is all face up now. The 2 black cards go on top. 2 opposite cards. So if she said spades, we'd be in this position. Right? She said hearts. So I'm going to turn over, and I'm going to do an Elmsley count. 1, 2, 1. Now this is not her card. Her card is here, directly beneath the card that's on display. So now what I need to do is I need to do a double lift from the middle of the packet. Thank goodness when I was working on this, I just happened to be reading Brother John Hammond's book and the Gemini count. And all I do is the first move of the Gemini count. I push this card in so that the cards are all square, and I buckle with my middle finger. I buckle the bottom card as I push the thumb, allow the thumb to push the single off. So you buckle one card to the bottom, right about there. Okay, and you push the thumb pushes one card off the top. All it does is it gives me complete access to that double that's in the middle. So now, when I pull it out, it'll be the card you named, the 9 of hearts. I turn the double down, place it into the bottom, and I curl back my index finger so that you get that illusion of the card going somewhere into the packet. So my left index finger is curled back, and that allows it to go in, like so. So you can't really tell where in the packet it's going. It's just going on the bottom. Because that card doesn't matter. All we need to do is know where this card is, which is our selection. I immediately hit another Elmsley count. And the same move again. Push in, buckle, push over. That gives me access to the double. Because what I have to do is I have to show the first 2 cards of the same color to both be the off-color card. Turn the double over. Same thing, take this card, put it right there under the bottom, but with the index finger curled underneath, it allows me to create the illusion that it's going somewhere into the middle. Now I hit another Elmsley count. You can be matchy-matchy here. You can just pull this out and show it. Or you can be matchy-matchy. If I hold down the 2 cards at the bottom, if I just simply pull down with my pinky, I can now push the index finger in, reach in, and just grab that single card off the face of those cards. So it's here. Push in with this index finger. And now, since I'm holding these two cards with the pinky, I can simply reach in and grab that card out. Okay? Now this is the only displacement that you have to do this entire time. Instead of putting it at the bottom, this goes second from the bottom. So I just pull down a little bit with my pinky, put that card right in, second from the bottom. It's not a tilt move. I just need to get that card in there so it's second from the bottom. Tap, 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 tap. I do, because of course you have to show this last black card here. So that's the only way you can get that card in position for the last Elmsley count. 1, 2. Okay? I show this card. All I do is take this card, drop it down, face down on the packet, and immediately hit a DM count. So that's a triple, single, triple, single. So they just saw all these red cards and one off-color card, and they think, okay, he's something doing with the faces. And all of a sudden, they see all the cards change to the other color. If I immediately hit an Elmsley count right now, the card you select, the 9 of hearts, will be that card. One displacement. And that displacement doesn't really affect this. And then you allow them to take it out. Go ahead, take it out, thank you. And there it is, the 9 of hearts. All right? Any questions about that procedure? It's just boom, 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 boom. No, thank you. Now, so thank you. They saw the one card an off color at the beginning. Now all of a sudden it's switched over, and now they can touch it. You can stop. You can say, thank you very much, good night. Now let's do some coin magic, right? But if you want to keep going, you can keep going. All I do is have another spectator name another suit, sir?
Clubs.
Clubs, very good, very good. I leave the clubs face up on the table. The card that matches the clubs, the spades, in terms of color, I use to scoop up the other 2 cards. And now I'm going to do a rumba count. If you want, you can do a frustration style count to be a little bit easier. But I like to rumba. Not that that's anything like rumba music. And the rumba count just really very, very quickly is I flash that back, and as the hand comes down, these fingers just push over the 2 cards at the bottom and allow them to flip over. They contact the hand and they flip over. So you're seeing the back of the same card over and over and over again, the same black card. Again, if you don't like that, you just do a little more of the Brother Hammond sort of frustration count. Whatever happens, you end up with this card that matches this card on top of these 2 on the table. I scoop it up, drop them here. Here comes the big, they just saw all these black backs. Here comes the big revelation. The card's going to be the one card that's, oh no, Mr. Magician did something bad. Now you have the much cleaner display. You're going to do an Olram subtlety here. So I have the 2 cards, red cards in the back here. So I have a nice, very nice display coming up. All I do is with these fingers, I grab that card off the bottom card, turn both hands palm down, lots of red there, toss the black card and the red card on the table, show this red card. It's very clean. It's a simple use of the Olram. Now, if you really want to be mean to them, and if you already did a frustration count to begin with, right, what you can do is you can put this card in between the 2 cards, and you can do a really, really naughty frustration count, because you have 2 cards of the same backs. You can do this. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. See? That just smacks them around. They have no way of responding to that, and so now they see a lot of red backs. At this point, nobody knows what's going on. They have no clue what's going on with and so what I decided to do is really jam this point home. You see, at one point, the first one is sort of a mind-reading effect that becomes a very visual transformation. That still is mind-reading because the card that they thought of is still the off-color card, right? It also, but then it becomes something else. It then becomes sort of mistaken magic. The colors transform. Now we're going to get an effect of multiplication. Turn the cards over, and that's a single, a single, a single. I'm going to exchange this card for this whole packet, and then just count off 1, hold a break, and then switch this card for this card here. So if we count the cards as we go along, and all they have to be is in red, black, or black, red order to get this effect. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, regular. Switch, individual card for packet, 4, 5, regular, 6, hold a break, 7, 8. All right? They see all these different backs. And you can immediately turn over and rub the cards on the table. It's a very nice display to convince them that those are single cards. They're not trick cards. These are single cards. Now you get to end with the best trick in all magic. Daly's, or that everybody tends to do, Daly's Last Aces. Dr. Daly's Last Aces. Which is just a transposition. You're just getting people even more riled up. So we can either use the blacks or the reds. The way that the cards are now prepped is that with the blacks. So all you need are the two cards that are of the identical color need to be next to each other in the middle. So it can either be like that, it can be like that, it doesn't matter. We'll leave it the way it was. I scoop these up, and as I scoop these up, I push back these two a little bit so that I can get a break. So when I square up, I know I'm going to be able to get a break under the top two cards. So I can immediately then just do a turnover, double lift. So they see 9 of spades. I place that card face down on this side, and I reverse count. 1, 2, hold a break, drop the single on top, immediately do a double lift. They see the 9 of clubs now. Now you're up for the standard gag. You do. I'm going to make the clubs go over here, the spade go over here. Oh, oh, they go back. Oh, but you've got them to this point where they're thinking about transposition. They don't know what's going on with the faces. They certainly haven't know what's going on with the backs. Now you get this moment where you really get to hit them hard by saying, well, the only way I make sense of all this is that I have to make sure that the cards with the red backs have the red faces, and the cards with the black backs have the black faces. And the nice moment here is the cards are on the table. People freak out, and they're completely examinable. The thing I loved about the original version of the Mike Skinner's Nonconformist, all the Nonconformists, is that at the end of the trick, you're producing the actual state of the cards. Does that make sense? And you're trying to get people to like it and to care. And so this is a moment that allows for that. Questions? Cool beans. Okay.
When's that being released? Did you say that's being?
I was kidding. I was teasing on that. This is only here. No, you're fine. You're fine. Just turn the camera around so we get his face. And then, no, I was being snarky. I'm sorry. No, it's just a packet trick that's all sleight of hand. So there it is. There it is. This has been written up for a while, from like about almost 6 years ago. It's been in my lecture notes for a while. Thank. All right. One more card trick, and then we'll stop doing card magic. Okay. He's got a deck of cards. What's he going to do? Just take one. Thank you very much. Don't show it to me. Show it to the camera. I'll just look at the monitor. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Make sure everybody sees it. That's good. Everyone's looking at the monitor. Okay, good. Sir, do me a favor. As I dribble through the cards, just say stop for me somewhere in the middle, okay?
Stop.
Right there. Is that fair? Are you happy with that?
2 more.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
okay, are you okay now?
Yeah, perfect.
Put the card back where he said stop. Now, this is usually the point where I let the audience members shuffle the cards, but I'm not going to, because obviously they're such a happy group. But I've had problems with people. They'll take the cards and sometimes they'll cut them, right? But the problem with letting the people shuffle the cards is that, well, I was scarred by this one event. Okay, and what happened was this guy was like, okay, Mr. Magician. He really was much younger, so he goes, okay, magic boy, what you going to do? What are you going to do if I do this? What if I take the cards, I turn half of them face up and shuffle them into each other? So the cards actually end up face up and face down. It's a pretty convincing display, isn't it? And then he continued to go ahead and shuffle those cards up, and taking larger groups of cards, shuffling them up so that it was just to make me angry. And then he handed me back the deck, and I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to cut through and figure out, well, how am I going to fix this situation? But of course, this was before I wasn't Magic Man yet, or Mr. Magic, or Dr. Magic even. I was still Magic Boy, but I could solve the problem. I could solve the problem because I knew that all I had to do is, if I gave the deck the right twist, the 8 of spades would appear on the face. Close?
It was a 8 of clubs.
Oh, I didn't say this was your card. This is the 8 of spades. No, see, 8 of spades tells me, if it's face up, it tells me that the Queen of Diamonds is face up and the 9 of Hearts is face up. It tells me actually that all the cards are face up. Oh, it's magic. Except for one, which remains reversed in the very center, which is, of course, your card, the Eight of Clubs?
Yep.
Eight of Clubs. All right. So, thank you. So, have you ever wanted to learn a full deck, off the table, false shuffle, that not only keeps the deck in complete original order, but it can also be used for triumph? Yes. I called this the Like Mike shuffle because I saw Mike Close do a shuffle that I didn't know at the time. It was a Homer Lewag shuffle. It looked good, and it was all based on what he could do with the illusion created by the dovetail, as a lot of the trick shuffles, a lot of these sort of false shuffles, full deck false shuffles are these days. And I didn't know that. It didn't look quite right, so I was like, okay, Kainoa, you're Mr. Smarty Pants. You figure out the false shuffle that uses the pharaoh. So this is what I did. Do you guys is this interesting? Is this fun? Okay, cool. Just checking. All I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 20 cards forward. All right, I'll show you the false shuffle, then I'll show you the application to the triumph. All right. The 20 cards that go forward are the cards that are going to go. This is just a push-through shuffle, and the dovetail is what's going to allow actually give the momentum for the push-through to occur. 20 cards go forward. The larger packet of cards, the original bottom packet, come back. I square up the cards, I butt them against each other for my pharaoh. This isn't based on the idea of a perfect pharaoh shuffle, by the way, right? All you have to do is make sure that this packet of cards is inside. So it's going to keep the smaller packet, the larger packet is going to keep the smaller packet secured. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're there. Now, the grip here is what makes this false shuffle work. My index finger is going to be about the midline over here between where the edge of these cards are, this packet is, and where it meets the other packet. And my pinky is going to be about the same point on the other side. In other words, about the middle of this packet, all right? I'm going to do a standard dovetail by reaching over and doing that. It's what it sounds like. It's not. Everybody farts. It's okay. Those are great books. Have you guys seen those books? They're phenomenal, aren't they? Yeah, I'm a professional reader. That's one of the things I read. So as you do the dovetail, what's going to happen is your thumb's going to push down, and your index finger and pinky are going to push up. Now, it's probably hard to tell even here, right, live. But you see there's a very slight bend. That's going to become augmented once my hand covers and I begin the dovetail motion. I'll turn around so you can see. Now, if those fingers are in position, and if you got the angle going of the cards, yeah, there you go. See, look at you. It was, but you know, sometimes that's a good. That was pretty much for me, and there we are. I was playing a lot with those Leonard Green sort of moves, where you like have a weird claw on the deck, and so I have full control over these two packets. In fact, if I push, this is not part of the move, but if you, just to show you how much control you have, if you push your index finger and pinky together, that packet just comes back out again. Okay, you have full control. They're completely separated except for the fact that they're perfectly interwoven. So now you're going to use, in order to get this done, to complete the push through, you're going to use your index finger, your right index finger, your right, second, third, and fourth finger, and this thumb. All right? I'll turn around again so you can see. And I'll angle myself down a little bit. Actually, you know, it might be easier from here. Index finger contacts that corner and then pushes down. As it does that, these fingers kind of get out of the way to allow that half of the packet to emerge. All right? So it's already cleared, right? All I need to do now is square the deck. And once I square the deck, I'm going to have this whole half in-jogged. So I just push down with this finger. The hand is going to sweep around the cards. And as it does so, this thumb's going to push in, and these fingers are going to square. So now, I'm here. So all that's happened is those 20 cards have gone from the front at the back. I'll do it one more time so you can see it. I'll do it from, any suggestions on which angle would be best for Mr. Camera? Straight on here, tilted down? Okay, cool. From here. This is obviously, now notice if I keep my fingers here, you can't see this from this side, so your angles are pretty protected over here. You can't see what's going on over here because this hand is covering. So you're in a really great position. Now all you have to do is be able to get into a position where you can do the strip out. Index finger pushes down as these fingers get out of the way. Thumb pushes, left thumb pushes in as right hand swoops around the pack and squares. So if you tilt down too far, you're going to get a little bit exposed angle. But if you think about it again, this is the sort of thing that if you're here, if the audience members are at eye level, right? If they're at eye level and you're doing the shuffle, right? So you can imagine a human sitting right here. You have a nice you're pretty clean in terms of your angles, you know. So now the strip out part. And the strip out part is the part that scares people the most, and it shouldn't. Because, let me show you the easy way of doing it. Because you would think that doing a strip out of a perfectly ferruled cards would actually be more difficult, right? Because there's more surface area, every card is touching another card. So there's more surface area touching. So what you need to do is get a little air in between those cards. So under cover of the hand here, you simply pull down with the index finger. Like an accordion. And that gives all the air you need in between those cards. You can let go. It doesn't need to stay. Once you get that air in there, it's in there. Yes. So, and I'll just point out that where the fingers are. I have my index finger kind of covering my front angle here. My left index finger covering my front angle. These fingers are concealing the fact that if you looked, you could see where the cards are woven together. You can see the exposed view of that incomplete shuffle, right? So those fingers are hiding that. These fingers are here. Notice that I'm in the perfect position now to do a Hindu shuffle, which is what I'm going to do as part of the strip out. So I get my air in between, and with the cover of the hand, I mean, you don't even see it happen. It's just boom. And I strip out. I just strip backwards. And I strip slightly forwards with this hand. I just simulate as best I can the motion of the Hindu shuffle. And so I strip out. So it's really, for me, it's really this action. For some people do a lot more this action with their Hindu. Some people do a lot more this action. So make it consistent. I'm going to take off about half of this packet off the top and hold a break. And then all I'm going to do is exchange this packet for this packet. Then drop everything on top. So, to speed, just looks like you're shuffling the cards and then giving it either a cut or a Hindu shuffle. I mean, you could just strip it out and make it look like a cut, right? You could just do that. But I wanted a little more of that. I wanted to justify that strip out action, so I decided to use the Hindu shuffle. So I call this a like Mike shuffle. Questions? Issues, problems, things to consider, giggle about.
Someone that
Yay.
asked about something really different.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I just want to make sure. I just want to see if everyone's here. Did you?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
I guess I didn't get the cutting action, how you're not actually mixing the cards when you bring it. One packet.
So when I'm here? So here?
Yeah, when you're in.
Right. Okay, so that's going to come out. That packet's going to come out. So I'm ready to go here. So as I pull this packet out, the top about 10 cards are going to go right here. I just steal them off and I hold a break. And then I just exchange these two packets, okay? Good question. Good question for clarity's sake. Excellent. Go for it, boss.
There's a request. Do you do requests?
It depends on what I'm asked to do.
This is a request for
Oh, gosh.
Ghost and Vamps.
Oh, really? Oh, that's sweet. No, you know what? I don't even have the cards with me. That's hysterical.
Well, Sorry, buddy.
Maybe later.
Mr.
Maybe
Philip
later.
Panda.
Maybe later. Yeah, I don't think I have the cards with me, actually. I didn't
Okay.
even think of that. That's funny.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, after all, I did kind of like threaten to do nothing but coin magic tonight, so. Oh, go ahead.
I have one of those.
Do you have one of these? Yeah. Does yours come apart too?
No.
This one unscrews. It's the travel version. It's very nice. Let me do some more coin magic for you because it's just what makes me happy. One of the first things I ever saw was a magician with a goblet. Some old Chinese guy, something Cam, I don't remember his name. And what he did was he would make coins appear and he would drop them into the goblet. And he simply let them roll across his fingers like that. And it was the most mystifying thing I'd ever seen because it was almost as if the coins were alive, dancing back and forth, seemingly coming out of nowhere, but for some reason they would just keep appearing. That one didn't sound as good. There we go. And I thought to myself, I don't know how he's doing it because they just keep coming. And then I thought to myself, well, it's interesting that he uses silver coins because after all, he's a Chinese guy, right? Why does he use Chinese coins? I mean, would it make sense that he could produce a lot of Chinese coins? But then I realized that might be a little bit of a racist thing for me because after all, I'm an American and I use American silver coins. And that would mean that, say, some poor English guy, some poor English magician, right, would have to end up using nothing but English pennies, right? And that's not nice. So we can't hold the poor English people to the English pennies because their coins otherwise are, they're not as good as our silver coins. But the big ending that he had, it was really amazing. He'd take that last coin, he'd simply blow, and it would vanish just like that, and then come back with a bunch of friends. Yay! Hear ye, hear ye!
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. So I call that routine showing off. I don't know. The only reason I'm doing this is to display what can be done by relying on sleight of hand too much. No, by mastering particular moves. If you go to the later version of Bobo's, which has a bunch of the Goshman stuff at the end, Goshman has a version of his Sun and Moon routine where he tells you that if you can roll a coin, he has you roll a gaff. You got a copper silver coin with a shell over it, so you can't tell it's a copper silver coin. So it's got a copper coin over it, so it looks like a copper coin. He says if you can roll a coin in your hands, the audience will suspect it's a real coin, and they'll also suspect that you're not hiding anything else, right? So that's what you get from this rolling. The other nice thing that happens is because I'm dropping the coins and I immediately start rolling more, you can't tell how many coins I got. You just lose count. Because sometimes I just produce the same one over again. And you don't know, but all I'm doing is rolling the coin. Just going. This is a technique that is what got me sort of, I guess, people were initially horrified by what I did. And it's a routine, or it's a technique known as the steeplechase discrepancy. And I was waiting before a show, and I'd already taught myself how to do some coin magic, and I knew how to roll coins. In fact, before I did any coin magic at all, I taught myself how to roll a coin. So it'd be great. So you'd be walking around and like, hey, Mr. Magician, hey, what do you do? I'm rolling a coin. Oh, cool. Do you do magic? Yeah. You want to see a card trick? And that would be it. No transition. That's all I had. So I realized that if you're at a party and you're walking around like this, you're one of only two people, right? You're either the supervillain or you're the magician there to entertain. So I realized that, okay, if I walk around, if I'm doing walk around and I'm doing this, people see this, then they'll know I'm there too. It's all right, I have more. They'll know that I'm there to be as part of the entertainment, right? So I developed this technique that allows you to roll coins while palming as many as you feel comfortable with, using, of course, our friend Ramsey finger palm. And the technique is sort of, if you can roll a coin, it makes sense. What I'm doing I'm doing a regular roll over here, so the coin's just going down. On this hand, the hand that's concealing the stack of coins, and I don't know if you all have noticed this yet, but I'm left-handed with my coin magic, and that can really bug people, because they always want to look at the right hand, right? It's interesting, isn't it? One of the big sins of cards card magic is that it really does, it kills the one hand, right? The left hand is just always holding the deck, unless you're going to hold the deck like this. All your hardcore moves are performed with the right hand, and so that, the left hand, and your goal is ultimately always to keep that hand from moving, or at least appear to move, right? Which is really weird. And so the thing that you have to learn from coin magic is that it's all about being able to use both hands and being able to participate in the motion and using them with both. So all I'm doing in order to conceal the fact that I'm palming coins is as I roll down this hand that has all the coins palmed, I go, now that one there, and then I go, whoop. All right? Instead of, I don't roll with this finger. I just skip right over it and go to the pinky. Now this allows for you to keep moving. When I originally came up with this move, I would roll here and I would come up and I would bring this hand down around so that you knew the coin rolled, but you might not see, like I had to conceal that moment. But you don't have to, you can just keep going. You can do it with both hands and people are so impressed by the fact that the coin's moving, they have no idea that you're concealing coins. That looks good. It's nice to look out into a room of people and then you kind of look over and people are just like, oh, that's good. Yeah, slowly but surely. That's good. So, yeah. So, some of the things that you can do with this, besides, it's excellent for convincing people that your hands are empty when they're not. The other thing that it's excellent for is that you can do it with one hand. All right? So now I no longer need the transfer. All I have to do is let it go down and catch it, and with a little bit extra pinky motion, I can just move it right around the stack. Okay? You have to watch your angles a little bit because you can flash. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have huge gaping windows. So I have to really watch that. You have to really watch that, especially with this. If you work a little harder, you can make it so that the coin will it's not discrepant. And that's if you just hold on to the stack and curl palm. And I just met somebody the other night in New York City who can do it in finger palm. He doesn't care. He just rolls anyway. I'm like, okay, you're crazy, dude. So that was neat to see. That was neat to see. So this is the rolling steeplechase, and you can see what comes of this is that however many coins you can conceal in that position, you can produce them. The other fun thing that this allows, obviously, is that if I'm rolling this coin here and I want to make more, that was like a weird shuttle pass move. All right, so I roll down here. This coin gets sucked in the way a coin's supposed to get sucked in when you roll, and you're just going to make it come back up again. Right? The pinky is just grabbing it. Right? That happens at the same time as this hand comes up and does that. So it's just pushing the coin off, allow it to roll. And obviously what I was also doing in this is if you have a coin of a different type and you roll here, then you can blow, you get a transformation. So it's one of these interesting things that allows for you to do, it's almost like a hands-off spellbound sort of thing where even though you are concealing the coin just for a split second, it just allows for that sort of transformation to occur. And it looks oddly natural for an activity that is so unnatural. Mm-hmm. But the fact that the activity has that rhythm and the rolling has that beauty to it, that it translates very easy in terms of something that people expect or enjoy. Questions, problems, issues, fear, trembling. All right.
So you're starting out with 10 coins in each hand or so?
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
You can conceal them all in your hands. You just have big hands.
No, I don't. I really hold up your hand. Oh, just straight like this.
Oh, we have the same size hands.
I know we have the same size hands.
Yeah, embarrassing.
Yeah, my hands are as big as hers. But you see, so I mean, and all I'm doing is instead of trying to classic palm them, I'm putting them all in Ramsey finger palm.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Someone asked if you had any good tips for how to train to roll a coin.
A lot of television, a lot of lonely hours. I think one of the things, it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for accuracy, that's the part that takes the longest. That's when you sit and you have a pillow. You don't stand unless you got a table like this, but even then, you saw me, I'm dropping coins on the floor. If you are sitting in a bed, or if you're sitting in a sofa and you put a big pillow in front of you, that way you can control, the coins are going to fall. That's what they're going to slip through the fingers. I'll put one in the thing when I don't know. If they're going to slip through the fingers, they're going to fall. And so, but if you're going for, when you're going for initial accuracy, that's going to just take time and muscle memory. Don't feel like any of these moves that I'm showing you, if you sit down and try to learn them, say, I'm going to learn the fingertip muscle pass now. Tonight, I will master the fingertip muscle pass. You're going to cry and be angry and throw. People tend to throw, they say that they read, so many times, people say, I read your book and I threw my coins across the room. You know? Yeah. And I'm sorry. I apologize to the world now. World, I'm sorry. But what you need to do is give yourself some time. I find that with muscle memory, with learning a new move especially, I'll get angry too. But then I'll put the coins down and I'll walk away for a little bit. And I'll come back maybe a couple days later, maybe a week later, maybe a month later, I'll come back. And anytime you're learning this sort of thing that requires muscle memory, that's pick them up and put them down, pick them up and put them down. Don't just try to sit there and I will master the coin roll between today and Thursday. It's not going to happen. If you're going for speed, look at the angle that I'm rolling at. I mean, my hand is almost perpendicular to the floor. So it's not the idea that I have to propel the coin. All that's happening is I have to catch the coin. I'm relying on gravity to increase my speed. If I was going for just, my fingers are actually I'm getting old, arthritic. It's going to start hurting pretty soon, I can tell. I'm serious. And so if I'm actually just using my muscles to get it going, I have to work a lot harder. But if I just rely on gravity, it's very, the other thing is to train yourself. Yeah, I think you've noticed that when I do this, my big mistake is that that index finger still flickers. If you want this to look pretty, you just try to control that puppy as much as you can, right? Keep it under control.
And Curtis and David Correa said hi.
Hi, guys. Miss you. Might be coming home soon, kind of aiming for summer. 20th anniversary, 20th reunion for my class is coming up, so I gotta admit how old I am. Again, so why, again, arthritic hands. So, see you soon. Thanks for watching. Anyway. Any other questions about the rolling stuff or anything? It's nice to look around the room and actually see people rolling coins. It makes me, it warms the cockles of my heart. Yes, sir?
What advice would you have? The fact that I've got skinny girl fingers has kept me from doing too much coin stuff. Yeah, I've got windows too.
What do you...
It really kept me from doing a lot of coins.
Why were you flashing? Do you have windows?
Well, yeah, but I was already doing this, and I can hold,
Yeah, look at you go.
like...
She's a beast. She's a beast. It's scary. All right, now, first of all, okay. So first of all, I have very tiny hands. So we've established that as part of the.
I never said that.
Okay, that's true. That's true. You said I have hands and say, yeah, he said
I
that.
have large hands, and
Maybe you're. Yes, that's. We'll go with that. But hold up your hands and show me your windows.
Look at those.
Yeah, look at mine.
Yeah,
Mine are bigger.
it's terrifying.
It is big, and so what happened? Look at you. See, look at that. See, and I actually made a girl. I was doing some coin magic for my students, and so I actually did a part when we were doing this. I was doing a theater class where I was trying to be active and get them to think about magic, and so I started to talk about windows. And my problem is that when I go around, I just stare at people's hands, and I basically look at them and say, "Windows pudgy, windows pudgy, windows pudgy," in my mind. And so this poor girl is there, and so the one thing you don't want to turn to a girl and say, "Wow, you have really pudgy little hands." This girl was just like, it was like this moment where she just went, like I was like, "Oh God, A for the day, A for effort." What can you do to stop the waterworks? But I get really angry with those hands, the pudgy hands, because they don't have the windows, right? Reed McClintock, Shudogawa. I want to take their hands away from them because they have these nice meaty hands. And when you could do that, you lose the windows. You lose the windows, right? So I have to deal with this. So what my suggestion is, and this kind of deals with a lot of the stuff you can think about in terms of the theoretical aspects of magic, is what is natural. terms of hand positions. I'm a firm believer in the idea that in order for something to be natural, it has to be, there is no universal natural. There's universal anatomy in terms of how we're structured. So when the hands relax, our hands tend to relax in the same ways. But even not really, are you palming a coin, or are you just sitting there? You're kind of touching your ring. Okay, so I was just trying to look at, I'm just looking at hands at rest right now around the room, and so natural. I mean, you're fine, I'm not going to, it's all right, don't worry about it. I was like, he's going to make me hold up my hands and like call me, I don't know what he's going to call me. And so you're protective, and that's okay. But if you're going to be hands at rest, tend to structurally be pretty close, but not always the same. So what's going to be natural for you is not going to be natural for me. So when I hold a coin, and it took me a long time, when I hold a coin and I know I'm going to be doing some of this edge grip stuff, look at where, I don't know if you can see, but I'll remove the coin. Look at how far down I am with this index finger. The only way this hand can do it is that this index finger has to go way over the top there in order to cover that window. So, but now because I do this, when I gesture and I talk, and if I'm palming coins, it's a space I sort of come back to cover those windows. Because, if I was just going to sit there, you'd see window, right? See that? Look at that slight difference. No window, window. No window, window. So I have to manage that. So it's about mirror practice. It's about close the windows and make it natural. Make it natural for you and consistent. Because then once you do that, you'll be fine. Good question. Excellent question. Thank you. Let me show you some of the other stuff I was doing. I realized I didn't teach one thing that I wanted to teach that I performed already, which was the flying wombat vanish. I didn't teach it, did I?
Yeah.
I just kind of went right by. People tend to like this vanish. When I saw the raven, I always wanted to be able to, I did this at the end of that trifecta routine when I was producing the coin. I always wanted to be able to do a raven-esque vanish, but without being like strapped into anything, and just do sleight of hand. Just do sleight of hand. So it wasn't until I met a gentleman by the name of Yoshihiko Mutobe, and we met maybe for a total of 12 hours or a period of a 24-hour day. And he introduced me to a palm position that I'm hoping, I've been trying to make it normal. It's been in print for a long time, but it's one of the most beautiful palm positions around. It's called Mutobe palm. If you know classic palm, if you know finger palm, if you know thumb palm, if you know Downs palm, we're getting closer and closer to where Mutobe palm is. If you know Garrett Thomas's excellent work with the web grip, where he's got the coin in Downs palm and he can flex like this, right? So you get no thumb motion, or the thumb really isn't moving, the hands move, and you're all doing it with that coin concealed there. Mutobe palm is very close to that. Mutobe palm is here. Okay. Gravity sucks. So, and what's funny about Mutobe palm is that it's really, for a good angle, for a good percentage angle, it's bad magic. Right? Bad magic, 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 bad magic. Oh, where's the coin? Where'd the coin go? Right? Flat, because of the flatness of the hand. And you see what's happening, the way you know Mutobe palm, I'll run into people and they'll come up to me and say, is this Mutobe palm? And this is really more of an angle palm. What's known as angle palm. Mutobe palm puts the thumb and all the fingers in the exact same plane, which is what gives you this amazingly flat hand. But again, bad magic, bad magic, bad magic, bad magic. Oh God, where'd the coin go? And you get this really nice sort of flexibility. And notice that the thumb is moving, right? And even if I were to put the coin into classic palm, I'm not going to get nearly as clean a motion. And my classic palm isn't that good, but there are people with better classic palms. My classic palm isn't bad. But if I get the coin there in Mutobe palm, look at that. So when I do this vanish, what I call the flying wombat, because I thought the raven was a funny name, so we'll call it the flying wombat. Why not? Ho ho, I'm a dork, I'm a dork. I'm going to just wave like that, and the coin's going to vanish. Okay, and in my wave, it comes back. All that's happening is this, exposed view. I rely on gravity and the fact that I can control with my mind the amount of moisture on my hand at any given time. I know, it's impressive, isn't
Are you
it?
going to teach them?
I can't. And I'm not the only person who could do this because I've asked around. How awkward it is to, like, during lectures. Like, I was like, Shudogawa was at a lecture, and I was just like, because he started talking about something that sounded really close to what I was talking about, and I came up to him, I was like, dude, can you control the amount of moisture in your hand? He's like, yes, I can. I'm like, oh, the masters of these things, the Japanese masters are so hardcore. And I can't. If I think about it, I can make my palms sweaty. If I don't think about it, or I try to concentrate on not being moist, I can demoistify my hands. So I'm relying on gravity and the fact that my hands don't have a lot of moisture on them. Of course, I've been talking about it now, so they're going to be a little more moist, so I'll try not to. And all that's happening is the coin is simply sliding downwards. My index finger and my third finger are spread out a little bit, and what that does is that creates a track. So if I spread too far, that's what happens. But if I spread just right, it stops the motion of the coin. Okay? It stops the motion of the coin. That gets me in the perfect position for this third finger to simply do that. There's been a I think somebody has a download where they tilt up here, and they do a sort of similar steel vanish. But this is the wombat that's been in Coins on Edge whenever Coins on Edge came out, and also appears, I think, on one of the New York coin DVDs. So it comes down, flips up, the hand steals it into Mutobe palm. It sort of, instead of trying to think about it as doing like a big, I must use my thumb to grab this coin, it's more like, I must gently hand this coin to my thumb. So that there you have less thumb motion, so that you can maintain the flatness. Although this is such a beautiful position, I sometimes don't care how hard I have to work and how ugly I have to work to get in that position. So I can just go, right? And it's the same gesture as you would do a thumb palm vanish, but now I have a completely flat hand. And all that's happening is the coin is resting here, and as I turn, of course this is all, I'm doing this from here. Coin's just turning in, and like a thumb palm, instead of going flat, I keep it at an angle. And pushing down a little bit with the index finger allows that coin to stick out and then be flat. Okay? But you can do all sorts of kinky stuff with this wombat too. And if you're having trouble with it sliding down, oh, and by the way, you're playing with the ring, this works with rings too. It's really beautiful. If you want to look for a ring vanish, this is a really fun vanish to do with a ring. Just an idea out there for those of you who are into your ring magic. It's hot right now. Rings are hot. So I'm here. So if I steal the coin, what I also do is that I freeze this hand, what would be my right hand, the bottom hand. I freeze it because I want the audience to be like, maybe he put it back. Oh God, where'd it go? Oh God, you see what I'm saying? So it creates a moment of suspicion here. Boom. Now, you can do a lot of things. Lately, all I've been doing for this vanish is, as I come back across the hand, I'll let the coin fall. I'll just contact it with my middle finger and let the coin fall into finger palm. Back right into Ramsey finger palm. So it's from here to here. So they see fingers, palm. Coin's gone. I don't worry about it. If I don't worry about it, they don't worry about it. Unless they're the pat-down audience. And I've met those before, usually old drunk Japanese men. I'm just talking about parties I work at in Hawaii. That would usually when I would get patted down.
They're the best.
They are the best. They're very good patters. So you can do kinkier stuff. You can steal that coin. You can turn the hand over. You can drop the coin back and leave it in Harada grip. So when it falls, it actually gets palmed there by the chubby parts of your skin, so you can get a little bit of rotation there. And that just, from the front just looks like it's completely clean, and then you can grab the coin and make it appear any way you want. But you can get pretty crazy, funky, kinky. You can drop it back into nowhere palm and turn both hands up at the end and just wave like that. You have a lot of choices with this technique. What?
Keep saying kinky.
Do I say kinky?
Talking about Japanese.
Yeah, you're like, you can get real kinky with the coin. I'm like, where's this lecture going?
I don't know. It is a very intimate. This is intimate silver with Kainoa Harbottle.
Man, it's patting you down.
I know. Okay.
You can moistify yourself.
I guess we are doing that lecture, even though I'm not getting paid enough for it, so that's fine. All right, so let me show you a couple other things that I've been doing lately. Some kinky stuff, yeah. Well, let me show you. And it's like you're waiting for me to calm down, and you're not helping. It's very amusing. What's good? I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks. If you're familiar with hanging coins, this is a version of it. If you've ever seen David Roth do hanging coins, you would take the coin, you'd push it like this, and simply hang it in the air. And there are two things that I was interested in about hanging coins. First of all, the fact that you have to do this, where you literally show the angle that you're going to be concealing the coins into the audience before you do the move, so that you can have the coins and take the coin in edge grip, was a little weird to me. The second thing I was most interested in was the pendulum problem. And I can't remember the specific day, but I know it was in a TGI Fridays, and I was eating cheese sticks. And I was there with my friend Curtis. And we started talking about what I called, or what I think we both ended up calling, the pendulum problem. And it was the idea that if I'm going to vanish coins, typically if you like read like some of that standard stuff like the Goshman 10 coin vanish, where he's concealing them all in one hand, don't read that. Don't. It'll just make you cry. You think my stuff makes you cry? Don't read what Goshman vanishes 10 coins and puts them all in different palms in his hand. Just don't do it. I was interested in the idea that, well, if I was going to have to vanish these coins, usually you would just vanish, they'd all go into one hand. Right? Why? Wouldn't it be neater if I take one coin and put it over here and vanish it? I take this coin and put it over here into this hand and vanish it. And I pick up this coin and vanish it over here in this hand. It was something to reinforce the emptiness of both hands. So if the audience is thinking, well, he vanished the coin, it's in the other hand. Well, no, it's not, because I'm going to show you that this hand is now empty because I just vanished a coin out of it. Right? So the pendulum problem was an interesting problem. And I realized that if you're sitting at a table, well, that's easy. You can just start lapping stuff. But if I'm stand-up, which is where I am, I'm kind of stuck if I'm going to be going back and forth, picking coins up. Which is when we sort of realized that, well, David Roth's original edge grip vanish sequence is perfect for being off the table. So now we're here. So now we're going to use the exact same techniques that I was showing you earlier with the retention pass. But now we're going to do it 3 times. So that's coin number 1. Simply floats there in the air, leaving me with just 3 coins. Coin number 2 simply floats right there in the air. Leaves me with just these 2. Get rid of coin number 2 here. Sorry, that would be coin number 3. This last coin, even David Roth can't vanish. I can't either, because the air is so filled with silver that I can't conceal anymore. I'm not saying, I can make that coin disappear and turn invisible. I can do that. You won't see the coin for a second. Right? But it can't get it to hang in the air. So I have to first get this one down, and get this one down, and get the last one over here. And that gives me with 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. Okay? Thank you. So pendulum hanging coins was born, and it uses the exact same move on both hands, so it's more systematic that way, but it also uses some fun changeovers. So let me walk you through it because it's a lot of fun. So I'm just going to do the exact same vanish I was doing before. The coin's going to be pinched over here as it goes into a retention pass. Oh, that looked good. Sorry, I just had to look down when I wasn't supposed to, but it looked good. Oh, baby, look at that. It's like the coin just melts away. Now, you have a lot of choices here in terms of, I like that direct retention pass. You have a lot of choices for getting the coin into edge grip. For instance, I can take the coin off and put it in that hand, and I'm already in edge grip. This is what I call the edge flip, and it's based right off of a move that Gary Kurtz does. I think, if I remember correctly, when Gary Kurtz did it in his book Unexplainable Acts, he tilts over, and I think it's part of a transfer sequence. But I realized that if you tip it over like this, now I can just feed it, and that happens under the cover of this hand coming to take the coin, right? I can feed that coin directly into edge grip. So it's here. Oh, even for that angle, you don't see anything, right? So it's here. I'm always trying to find. Just gets taken, put in there. All right. So that's an easier way to do it. So regardless, I'm going to vanish one coin. I'm concealing one coin here in my left hand in edge grip as I take this fan and wave and hang that coin over here. That's coin number 1. Now I'm going to show you that there's 3 coins over here, and then there's 3 coins over here. There's 3 coins over here, and there are 3 coins over here. I'm doing I thought it was mine, and then of course it's been around for a long time. It's Mike Gallo's fingertip utility pass. Remember we talked about bad magic earlier, the utility pass, right? So now instead of doing the utility pass, you do it at the fingertips. And edge grip helps you out for this. The same move that I did when I just had this coin and I did this, right? I'm going to do it with a fan of coins in my hand. So with the fan of coins there, I'm just doing this. And all it's doing is getting out of the way of this coin that's concealed in edge grip. So as I go from here, what I do is I tilt the coins just a little bit towards the audience, just a little bit. That allows that coin just to barely be in sight. All right? As I transfer, and again, it's the bigger motion covering the smaller motion, right? Which is sometimes a rule to follow and sometimes not, really. And as this coin goes away and stays behind an edge grip, or really just fingertip rest in the right hand, this coin's going to come out of edge grip. It was barely there. And going to meet the bottom of the fan. So I'm going to go from here to here. All right? From here to here. It's a very nice, and it looks very clean. And you even do it under the guise of saying, I'm trying to be clear, right? So that's 3 coins, right? 3 coins. I love those naughty moves. Aren't they fun? Okay, I'm sorry. Kinky naughty moves. I'm just getting all sorts of waist problems here. You know what I'm saying? I love it when you're being evil right in front of them, and it's the guise is that you're being fair. And that's what you get here. So I'm going to take this coin now, one of the coins from this fan, and I'm going to do my retention pass. The same move, the exact same move. So once you master this technique with the middle finger, you know what I mean. Once you master this technique with the second finger, what it allows you to do is to place that coin directly underneath that other. So you get a stack moment here. And these coins, I'll try to show you here. They're barely touching each other right now. You see? And so the sooner, if you're trying to go for silence, quietness, it's the idea that the earlier that you touch the coins together, the better, and the more, obviously, the flatter the angle, the more their angles match, the better. This is just something that you sit around and practice and get used to. So I do that as a retention pass into this hand. Now notice that you're going to have to do it, well, here, before we get there. Let me vanish that coin and hang in the air, okay? Now I'm going to transfer over again. This time I'm going to do a different transfer. It's called the X for X transfer. These 2 coins are simply going to kick over. And you're going to do the first part of a downs vanish. And you're going to use that motion to get the coins into this hand's edge grip. So it's going to go from here to here. Ostensibly what you're doing is you're taking the 2 coins, and you have 2 coins, and you're simply doing this to show 2. But you're going to transfer over. So from here, these 2 coins are going to go right into this hand's edge grip as they tilt over behind the cover of the fingers. Now, these same 2 fingers are going to curl back and release the 2 already in edge grip and transfer them over from finger to finger, from hand to hand, rather. Right? So at speed, you're here, you're here. Okay? It's one of those nice little moments. I call it for X because it can be any amount of coins. You can have 3 coins and do 3 coins. You can have 3 coins and then do 2 coins, and then you have a vanish, right? So you can play it's a very fun little move that you can get a lot out of. You're going to do the same move again over here. I'm going to vanish this coin. I'm going to place it in this hand, and again, all that's happening is that middle finger is going to go coming underneath and loading that coin to the bottom of that stack. And the whole stack's in edge grip. Now I'm here. Now for the most fun vanish I do nowadays, it makes me so happy, it's this thing. I call it the wave vanish. It is so much fun to do because people have no clue what's happening. And this was something I just worked out. I used to do a crazy transfer sequence, so you'd show the 1 coin here, and you'd ball it up and make it so tiny, and then hang that one in the air, and all 4 would be in the air. And then you can scoop them all up again, and then they'd be here. You can't see them yet. Okay, now they're back. Why work hard? Just do this. And it's one of the few moments that I feel that it's my job to compete with YouTube. You know how the problem with magic is that a lot of it's. I mean, I'm into magic because it's about visceral, immediate reactions I get from my audience in a state of immediacy, i.e., you're right here, right? I'm not into that sort of the idea that magic. It's all right for magic to be mediated, i.e., be coming through a screen, like it is now. Hi, kids, right? Does that make sense? In other words, you'd be getting different angles and having a different experience if you were here right now, seeing this stuff. And as do audiences have a different response when it's right in front of their eyes, something is vanishing that they can see. They can see a coin, all of a sudden it's gone and now it's back. Okay? It's just gone and it's back. Let me show you this technique. Because guess what? All I'm doing is a retention pass in the air. I get rid of these coins because they're confusing me. I'll show you. You can just do it with one coin. I'm going to do the exact same move I've been doing. That middle finger is going to come over and just tilt the coin in. It's not going to go into a full palm. It's just going to go behind the other two fingers. See? So it's clipped there. Same move I've been doing this whole time. Instead of grabbing the coin or pretending to grab the coin, I'm going to wave the hand over the coin. And notice that I'm coming from bottom up. We can talk in a second about why you shouldn't necessarily go down up. I'm going up. I'm going up down, not down up. You'll see why in a second, and I'll show you with the lights, because the lighting affects how this trick works. And also angles. So if I wave like this, when these fingertips brush the back of these fingers, I know that I have cover. All right? I know I have cover. I have cover to do the secret move. And what's funny is that I'm doing this at a pretty fancy schmancy high speed because I'm me. You don't have to. You can go real slow. Right? You can go real slow. And so as you're practicing this, you don't have to worry about that too much. So one of the things, and I'm trying to expose this a little here, but you can see that your palm angle is going to be on this side. Because you're not palming the coin, it's just open there. So the way you worry about that is why the hand's going up. Because if I went down, look at that, I'm just exposed now. If I go down up, I have a different effect. And watch from the front, because it's interesting. If I go down and then up, the shadow of the hand over the coin does something so that the coin sort of materializes slower. Whereas if I go up, down, the hand's out of the way, the light hits immediately. So if you're looking for, bam, the sudden return of the coin, just boom, there it is. Boom, there it is.
There it is.
I know, but I'm just trying to work it in. Okay, never mind. As you... The fact that the hand gets away exposes the light that much faster. And this is just fun to do. This just fries people's world because there are some tricks where people go, you have the reaction that you create in videos, and you see in magic videos all the time where something effect happens here, and you see everyone in the crowd go, whoa, right? Which is the effect that we want. But I love this because when I do this, people do this. And then you do it again, they're like, because they're not quite certain exactly it's almost like a trick of the mind. It's also a hallucination, and I tend to move more towards the hallucinogenic side of magic. The kinky, moist, hallucinogenic side of magic. Which will be the new DVD set coming out this spring.
The back of your book.
The reviews on the back of the book, kinky, moist.
This is the New York Times.
Small hands, kinky, moist, small hands. Windows. It's going to be...
Better than 50 Shades.
That's right, yes. Yeah, see? Okay. We're all punchy. This is ridiculous. I'm just hungry. I don't know what your people's problem is. You're probably the same problem. So was that okay in terms of the coins going back and forth? Are we okay in terms of the pendulum hanging coins? And then all I'm doing is I'm reversing the action to produce them. If you have coins in a stack, you would just bring that finger underneath and gently. Because the coins are they're not in a death grip. They're being held very firmly by the thumb and index finger. And the thumb and middle finger. That's what allows the middle finger, the exposed portion, I became like Irish for a second there. The exposed part of that middle finger to come underneath and be able to slide those out. Notice I'm not really worried about gravity. I'm like doing this from the side, but I'm in control of it. All right? And that just comes with practice. Stack work always comes with practice, practice, practice. Okay? Any questions about pendulum hanging coins? That's one of those fun things I do. Okay.
It looks so easy.
People say that all the time. It must be my small hands. All right. Let me show you something else real fast.
Someone asked
go,
real
go, go.
quick if you could show your shuttle pass again with the close-up.
Oh, sure. Good question. You can, of course, shuttle pass off of an edge grip stack, but I'm just trying to create a little mini transition, but we're not going to even get there. The work with the shuttle pass, if you've ever seen David Roth do his shuttle pass, David has this preternatural ability to catch the coin because he's David Roth, right? You take the coin and it's like, I got it, it's here. If you ever watch him, I remember learning the shuttle pass off of David Roth's Betamax tape, back in the day. And him and Tony Hassini, those are great videos. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to keep this coin, the concealed coin, in finger palm. The other coin is going to be an open display, ready to finger palm. So I'm just turning over. That third finger is going to curl again, and again, it's very light. It's a very light touch. As I do that, this hand's going to turn over, and this thumb is just going to kick the coin back a little bit, right? And you notice that there's very different. The shuttle pass runs the gamut from the sort of David Roth, I catch the coin in my fingers because I'm David Roth, right? Because he is. He's the father of late 20th century coin magic. I mean, that's just who he is. Or you can try to do like the Sankey, sort of like, waha, right? Where you're just like throwing that sucker up and getting as much air as possible. But you don't really need that. It's the smaller amount. And notice that depending on where the camera is catching me, if I'm here, I can move a little bit more to the side. You're going to see a little bit more motion, but if I'm a little bit more here, you're still going to get motion off of the concealed coin, but the hand's covering the initial start of that motion, right? Either way, it's more than enough to create a very natural sort of gesture. And it looks like I'm completely confused because it looks like I'm getting crazy vert on that coin, but it's just the way the camera is working. All that's happening literally is that the coin's just flipping over. The coin's it's barely leaving the hand. It's just doing this. So that's what it is. So it's the learning this sort of motion, this catching motion. Like I said, I think this ability to learn the mime. If you master the shuttle pass, you can pretty much do anything in Magic. Because if you think about it, the shuttle pass is one of those things that just allow you to do. Look, there's only one coin. Now there's two. I mean, come on. I didn't work hard there. I just did a fake dump.
No one else was going to go there. But
I know. I'm sorry. Okay. I thought someone else was, but okay. So that's the shuttle pass in a nutshell. So again, there's a wide variety, but I think just making it look as natural as much as it would look like if a coin was just really falling from hand to hand. That's what it should look like. Let me see here. There was one other thing I wanted to show. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. One other thing I want to show you, which is one of my favorite tricks of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I brought these 4 coins for you this evening is to show you my favorite trick of all time. The fabulous flying 4 coins of mystery and mirth. Watch carefully and you'll see the 4 coins fly from one hand to the other. Thank you. No, that's not it. I'm building the tension. Keep your eye on the 4 coins, except for when I close my hand, because what's going to happen is the first coin is going to wave goodbye, much like the human cannonballers of old, before it gets fired into the air, just 33 spins, lands over here, spent yet satisfied, leaving me with 3 coins over here. Now, young lady, you were at the far side there. You were actually at the bad angle. Did you see me do it?
Mm-mm.
Do you think you could catch me if I did it again?
Yeah. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe you can do it again?
Don't worry, I already did it. See, that's number 1. See, and there's 3 over here. Oh no! It's magic!
Can you do it one more time? I'm watching this end.
I already did. I tell you what, I'll keep going, okay? So the 3 coins. And so I can't tell you how this is done, but I can tell you how people think it's done. We use our sleeves. Oh, it's true. See, what's happening, I have a vacuum suck system built into the sleeve. So the coin's actually going to get sucked. It's going to get sucked up the sleeve, go across the chest, go down the other sleeve to join the coin over there. Now, it hasn't happened yet, because I have to do this sleeve dance. Because if I'm using that technique, it's got to look like this, right? And you hear it arrive, right? And that gives you 2 over here. And that's only magical if there's only 2 over here, right? And you can applaud whenever you like. I mean, I know they're just going across. It's not that exciting. It's a knee slapper. Fine. You know what? I was going to be nice to you. Now I'm going to pick on you. No, it's fine. You're fine. You're fine. Come over here. Stand right here for next to me. Good work.
Never mind.
I'm not going to make you sort them.
Good.
Hold out your hand. I'm going to give you the 2 coins. Just need you to squeeze onto it tightly, okay? Stand there. Smile. Excellent. That way everyone else can concentrate. No. I'm concentrating these 2 coins over here. These 2 coins over. No. Just shh. Calm yourself. Okay. Don't. Okay. Send a taser. So we have the 2 coins. Watch carefully, because all I do is close up my hand here. I close up this hand over here. Did you see it go? The 1 coin. And then of course it. Oh, sometimes it takes an extra moment. Sometimes you got to wait a second, and then it'll appear over here. See? You just got to give it a little bit of time. Although it would make more sense if the coin didn't go across that way, right? It'd make more sense if the coin vanished from this hand and appeared over. Where could it be? Spill the coins on the table. Let everyone see how many coins you have. 1, 2, 3. It's magic. It's Thank you. Yeah, no, but usually people would sit down at that moment, because when you put coins in the spectator's hand, it only happens once. I want to be fair as possible. Hold out your hand for me, please. That one there, right? That's perfect. I'm going to simply count, okay? What? I know, I'm sorry, okay? I'm thinking about a lot of things. There's a screen, there's him, he's like smiling at me in funny ways, he's got this crazy kinky shirt on, and then this guy's giggling over there, and I've got a lot in my mind, and it's simply too much for me to. Hold out your hand, wench. Okay, here you go. You're right here. I'm teasing you. You're fine. You're doing such a good work. Thank you so much for coming tonight. You are valued here.
I
know. You're like, oh geez, don't make her angry. I can see him thinking that. That's 1. This is the longest version of this coins across I've ever done, by the way. Hold out your hand. That's 1. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4 coins. Is that fair? Say yes.
Yes.
Very good. I'm going to simply remove one of the coins. You close up your hand, turn your hand over, and smile again. Another satisfied customer. Make sure I can't get anything out. Or worse yet, sneak something in. Hey, what do you go? We're back to that original moment. Go ahead, spill those coins on the table. Show everyone how many coins you have. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a little bit of extra water there. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now you may go back to your seat. Except you can't, because I need you for the explanation phase. No, stay there for now. You're fine. So this is coins across. And I was serious when I said that. I don't usually use that pattern in the middle there, but there's not a lot of the coins acrosses that have happened where you put the coins in the spectator's hands twice. It's the best moment in the coins across, right? It's the climax. But why, if you can just do it once, why can't you do it twice under really intense medical supervision, under really intense, with the audience just really, really watching you. So that was what I endeavored to do with this routine. The other thing I endeavored to do with this routine is to come up with some techniques, or instead of doing the exact same technique every single time in order to make the coin go from here to there, right? Change it up. So when you have she went from being nice spectator, who I look over here. I don't know about this. I'm a teacher most of the time. Well, I've been a teacher, and what I do is I look at people, and you figure out who is your smiler in the room. And so every now and then you need to find that person, because you just need that little extra boost. And so I look at it, and you've been the smiler the whole time. So I just look at you. If I look at you for an extra second, I get the smile, I get the boost. I can keep moving on. I get okay, because you just look at the camera. It's like whatever. So you went from being the smiler I could count on to I challenged you, and you were like on the edge of your seat, like you think you can do it? Do you think you catch me if I do it again? You're like, yes. Mother. You're glad to come eat my head. So. This is a nice thing to work into any coins across because of people like you, people in your audience. Because the problem with the people in your audience, right, are not the people that are just going to be against you the whole time. They're going to come get you. It's the people that seem like they're not going to and then try to rip your heads off. They're the most dangerous ones. There's a lot of people that say you're not supposed to necessarily challenge an audience. And I think with specific moves, and a move that's good is the one I just did. Well, I'm not, yeah, it's a good move, okay? The one I just did is that it convinces people that if you can smack them around hard enough, They'll be challenging. After that, I don't know if you noticed, but your body language totally changed. You sat back, so you sat back again. You stopped being necessarily as angry. One of the times I did this, and I did this for this, there was a table of kids, and there was the grandmother there, and the grandmother was just angry grandma. Angry grandma that did not want to be there with kids. And so she's just watching me do magic like this the whole time. I mean, I swear to God, it was like it was like an angler fish, deep sea, in the water, just like ready to eat. And so I did that line to her, and it was amazing. So she didn't catch me, and then she smiled. And there's something about that moment that if you can challenge them and really fool them, you can diffuse that challenging tension. So if you have the right personality and the right technique, you can make this work. Let me explain this. This is called déjà vu, because you're putting the coins in their hands twice. First move is fairly standard. I got 4 coins in a shell. And I display the 4 coins. The shell's here on the bottom. The coin with the shell is nested here. And the 1 coin that I'm going to steal is already in position to be classic palmed. There it is, on display. I turn the hand down. Mr. Coin stays in classic palm. And I toss everything except for the coin concealed. On the joke. The coins are going to fly from one hand to the other. Ha ha! And the crowd goes wild. And I say, no, no, and I gesture with this hand palm down. And I'm actually doing that, I just realized why I'm doing that is because I can see where the camera is, and instead of it being like someone looking directly at me, they're looking really down on the hand. So if I was going to be doing it more forward to like a room of people, I would say, instead of saying no, 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 I would say no, no, no. All right?
Subtle difference.
No, there is, right? I mean, but it's from here. From here, it's like the fingers are clean, but if I'm up here, it's like, no, 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 you can see the palm of the hand, right? So it's a subtle difference, but that's what magic's all about. So I say, no, 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 I'm building this dramatic tension. And then what I do is with my right thumb, I just lift up and nest the shell so you can see 4 coins. Regular coin, shell, regular coin, concealed coin. 4 coins, all that's going to happen is this. The first coin's nest the shell. Because the first coin's going to work its way out, wave goodbye, much like the human cannonballers of old, before it gets fired into the air. That's the hardest move right there. Drop the coin back into the hand. Does 33 spins, lands over here, spent yet satisfied. Thank you, Paul Harris. Be the 1 coin over here. Now I turn to you and I say, now you were at the bad angle. Do you think you could catch me if I did it again?
You already did it.
No.
Me?
No, yes, I did. Now, I changed the timing up a little bit because I didn't know what you were going to do. This is very close to a top change with coins. This hand, as it closes over, I'm going to emphasize this coin. I'm going to say, now you were at the bad angle. I turn this hand over, and when I do that, I get the bottommost coin of the stack. I sneak it out the back in position for what would be, you could do for like a Himber steal, that sort of move here. So you're here. And I say, now, do you see me do that? And you say no, right? And I say, do you think you could catch me if I did it again?
He's so clever.
Me so clever, me sneaky. So I'm here. And so this is a fun move. All that happens is that this thumb is a little bit forward. It's completely underneath the coin. This allows for faster sucking of the coin into finger palm. That's not going on camera. So over here. So the coin's just going to go right into finger palm. So I kick down. And the more surface area of the thumb on the coin I get, the more control over the coin I'm going to have. All right? So I say, do you think you could catch me if I did it again? God, I'm nailing the camera angle on this. Okay, so let's be a little more exposed. So this is sticking out. And notice that you'd think that they'd be even more exposed, but look how far I have to turn in order for that coin to be exposed. See? It's very clean. So as this hand approaches here, it's going to go underneath the hand almost, because the concealing hand, which is my left hand, and the hand that has the coin that we're going to steal, which is my right hand, the right hand's actually going to hand this coin to the left hand. as this coin just comes underneath. So and one of the things about this is that if you want to get a little bit of an angle on this, you can tilt down just a little bit, and because people are going to have a hard time seeing a flat, it's easy for them to see a flat coin, it's hard for them to see a edge of a coin. So if I come down just a little bit of that angle, that gets kicked in, and I'm right here. So I'll do in slow motion, the coin comes here like this. All right? And it's this sort of rocking motion from here. Now I'm thinking about it and I can't do it. From here to here. From here. And it's so natural and done in an offbeat, it flies right by people. And it is the same sort of misdirection as you would use with the top change. Very similar misdirection you would use with the top chains. Okay? You can do really kinky things with this. If I'm here and I steal the coin and do that, now I'm 2 ahead. Because I'm doing our friend the click pass that we learned earlier. And I do that with some, you can apply that to some really interesting things. And that was something that Curtis showed me, and I was really angry when he put that up. I was like, oh yeah, I should have thought of that. Doofus. So now that's one coin, I'm 1 ahead. I said, do you think you can catch me? And they say, yes. Or sometimes they say, I don't know. And I said, don't worry, I already did. And that moment they laugh, it just releases the tension. It's so nice. So go ahead and challenge your audience if you know you can get away with it. And you're so ahead of them at that point, you can't. That's 3 coins over here. I'm going to steal this 1 coin and using pretty much the same move. This hand's going to turn over. I'm going to let the coin sneak out the back again. Now I have the cover for this steal, which is going to be done with the 2nd and 3rd finger in almost the same way as the hand turns palm up. And as I gesture, the coin's going to go up the sleeve, across the chest, down the other sleeve to join the coin over there. Okay? Motivate the move. From here, up the sleeve, across the chest. You can do across the manly chest jokes. You do whatever you want to do. Carpet of pleasure, the area rug of interest. I don't know. The bathroom mat of sadness. I don't know, whatever it is. And then as you do this move, you're from here, it goes across like this. As they watch, you sort of across in the gaze for a moment. As this hand comes up, this hand goes down. They start to follow. They stop following this hand. They follow this hand that's going to come down here. That's when you classic palm over here. So by the time this goes up across the chest, classic palmed already, going down. Because they're watching. It's like this transfer of this little laser beam that they're following, little spotlight that they're watching. Okay. Okay. She was talking to you. Sorry. The problem being a teacher is that I call people on things when they're talking in class. Just don't start passing notes. So I got the 1 coin across. Now the nice thing about this is that I did all this big motion that people could consider as spooky, as sneaky. But I have a shell, so I can immediately unnest the shell and say nothing's happened yet. Right? Nothing's happened yet, because I haven't done all the funky dance. And now you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can make it go straight across if you want, but I do enjoy this goofy moment just because I need more goofy moments. And obviously, I need more goofy moments in my act. You do the little dance. Obviously, it comes back down. And you can show 2 and 2. Now, as you show the 2, you do the next move. All right? Which is, again, like a top change. I'm going to have 2 fans of coins. I have a fan that's going up and down and a fan that's going side to side. This coin's going to do, as I tap here, I go 1, 2, 3. All right? And what I did was I just left the 1 coin behind the other. So the coins are going from here to here. I simply tap 1, 2, 3, and I let that coin go and stay behind the fan. Now, this is a fun moment because you're here and you come forward, and this is a nice little subtlety because if I'm here, I tap, I did the transfer. If I come forward, if I shake both hands, if you were just to say, do that, you're not going to convince anybody that you still have 2 coins over here. But if you do this, they can't tell where the sound comes from. It's so much fun. Now I have a lot of choices here. I can open up the shell if I wanted to. And now I can have a visual coins across moment. But the whole idea behind the deja vu is that now I'm going to put something in your hand. Now you can come back up. How are we doing on time? Is everybody okay? We're okay. How is our people in the audience? Do we need some cocaine? What do we need? What's going to help us out here? Very good. Ooh, me. What was that? Bathroom break?
Continue on.
Okay. Deep breaths. Hi. So I'm going to do the exact same display I did earlier. I've finger palmed all the coins. I'm going to show 2. So they say 2. I'm going to say, show you the 2. I'm going to put them in your hand. And I'm going to say, I don't want you to hold these so that way we can all concentrate on this one. My goal is to create time. Oh, thank you. Much better. See, you learned. It's good. I think she's trying not to talk, but all she keeps doing is these crazy gestures. Okay, just shh, Niggy. Oh, good. See, you don't just be quiet. You don't have to do this. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so now she has a 2. And so I want to create time direction between the time where one of the coins is going to end up in her hand. So I want people to actually forget she's got the coins for a little bit. So we're going to focus over here. Now, this is the freebie moment of this trick, because all I have is a shell and a coin. If I close up now and open, that coin's already gone across, ostensibly, right? This is nice. So I'm here. All I do is I close up, I nest the shell. And this is a nice moment. If you go, not just because of the noise, but because they see nothing here, then you open here and there's one coin. People start to, you can see their little, you can see their little heads spin. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. I don't know what I'm saying. So the coin goes across to here. And so it's almost as if you just saw this hand empty, they think there's going to be a coin there. So then when you open it, it's almost like you get an automatic, it's like a freebie vanish. Now you're going to use the shell and this classic unnest move to make the coin appear. You say, I'm sorry. And so you're going to emphasize the cleanliness here. I'm sorry. Sometimes the problem is, and all I do there, and of course I wouldn't have you stand here while I was doing this move, which is why I backed up when we were in the performance part of the show. All that happens is that the coin simply falls into finger palm. Don't say it. I know you're thinking it. So we're here. So I went ahead. So now I pick this coin up and I wave, and I say you just have to give it a couple seconds, and then it's gone across. That's a very powerful moment. And now you get another freebie, because you say, if I was able to take these 2 coins, it would make more sense if instead of making the coin go across, you can put this coin down, or you can keep it in your hand. If you don't have a table, it's fine. You don't really need a table for this coins across. You can be doing this all in the spectator's hand with the arrival point. Excuse me, over here. Put the coin down. My hands are clean. The only place it can be is in her hand. Go ahead, spill the coins on the table. Everyone see how many coins you have. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much. Now, oh, yes, you did such a good job. Well, stay for just a second, because I need you for this last part. But because what I need is, here's what to think about. If you're doing if you're performing for a table of 4 people, you don't do this in the same person's hand twice. Okay? You do this in 2 different people's hands. So when they walk away, because if you then do copper silver, you've done a trick into 3 different people's hands. The 4 people will remember you, because you've done something into everybody's hands. And I think that's one of the real interesting benefits of coin magic, is it can be very showy and very visual and very clean. At the same time, it can also be very interactive and take place in people's hands. So I'm going to just use your hand. We'll pretend you're someone else.
I'm not someone else.
I know, okay? So, coin with the shell is on top here. Fan of 2, coin with the shell right here. I count 1 from the non-shelled set, 2 from the shelled set, 3, coin with the shell right on top. 4 coins, I say, is that fair? Now what's nice is that she's doing what everybody does, is that when I do this, I push down just a little bit. That forces her to push up a little bit, because she can tell that these are nice coins. She's a little nervous about them. A little bit. You were nice. You've been polite the whole time. Oh, I thought you were faking a pocket. I didn't know you even had one there. That's great. I was like, it's the magic of the non-pocket. It's really. So we're here. Right. Now, by doing this, it does a couple things. First of all, by pushing down, she's going to push back just a little bit. Notice that I have control of her hands without grabbing her hands. Right. If she pushes up, she's not necessarily going to close her fingers. And if she tries, my fingers here are blocking. My hand is controlling over here, so I can grab her if I need to. I'm probably not going to.
Probably.
Well, I've noticed how good I've been so far. Is that fair? You say yes. It's totally not, because there's a shell on top, and I'm going to take it now. I'm going to take the shell as I close up your fingers. I have you turn the hand over and smile. And I take this last coin. You can do whatever sort of vanish you want to do here. I did the exact same spider grip vanish I did before, where I just take the coin, make it smaller and smaller, then it dissipates here. And I can do the same misdirection or time misdirection sort of thing, where spill the coin, hands on the table. You can just do a small vanish. Doesn't matter, because it's in your hand. Go ahead. Spill the coins on the table. And that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much. And so that's Deja Flu, and it's a very fun coins across. A lot of these routines are. What's happening now? It's a crazy room. A lot of these routines move like this. A lot of my routines tend to move like this, where you can build off of single moves, and some of them you can see are related. A lot of them are working from here. But notice that the tension and the moments where the actions of evil occur are a little bit different than most coin tricks. So play with it, experiment with it. Deja Flu is a very fun coins across. Questions? Comments? Bathroom break?
No.
No? Have a little more. I know. I'm sorry. It's under here somewhere. It's under here somewhere. There was something else I wanted to show you, and I'm trying to remember what it was now. Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Can you make a person disappear?
I'm going to in a split second here. And honestly, the problem is I don't know who it's going to be. Any requests? Oh, actually, I was asking. No.
Oh. Jacob.
That's a good question.
We watched a YouTube video of you. It's the first YouTube video, and it's where all the coins disappear, and you say, "Oh, I don't even know where it goes." Can you do that one?
That's the one I did for you. I already taught you that one. That was actually the hanging coins that I did. Except I did that last transfer, and I show here, and there, boof.
Yeah, you made a sneeze out.
I do that sometimes
Sneeze
too.
guard.
Okay.
Everything looks better on YouTube.
It does, because it's just how it works. There's that weird time delay. I was trying to think if there was something else. There was something else I wanted to show you. I can't think of what it was. I should have brought my list out. What?
You had a ring.
Yeah, you did have a ring. I was waiting to see what you were doing with the ring.
You did.
In your pocket.
I've been
in
wondering
your
this
pocket?
whole time.
You don't even remember the ring?
Oh, the ring. Yeah, the ring. I forgot about the ring.
That has to-
No, I mean, this was.
Forgotten the ring.
I'll tell you what. Oh no, that's what I wanted to show you. I knew exactly what I wanted to show you. So I've been making coins appear and disappear. I've been making them go across. But one of the things that I've been working on a lot lately is trying to change the moment of vanishing and interaction and that sort of thing with spectators. And if you think about it, how do you make this? A lot of this stuff is very visual, right? It works very well for the camera because it's visually set. But except for the Deja Flu, notice that there's not necessarily a lot of interaction. So how can we boost the interaction levels with coins? And there are a lot of ways to do this. And so this is a routine I've been doing a lot lately that makes me very happy. It's done with the 4 coins. And you say, I'll pick on you. You mind?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and come on. Actually, go ahead, go. The way that things appear and disappear, is there some place you'd rather have me put this to make you happier? That's good. Yeah. The way that these things have been appearing and disappearing, I mean, I've been talking about sleight of hand and showing you all this stuff, but the real problem with the way that magic works and the way things appear and disappear is that a lot of it's happening in our minds, right? We're utilizing our imagination quite a bit.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, and so it's interesting. So, for instance, if you look at the coins in my hand, and you can make a picture in your mind. So when you close your eyes, you can still see the coins in my hand, right?
Right.
Right? That's just how it works. And if we believe in things like the Matrix and all that other stuff, then we know that there's really little difference between the picture in the head you're seeing and the actual reality, because you can't really touch reality because we're all plugged into the computer.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so you can see the coins.
Sure.
Right? So we're going to use our imagination to try to make the coins disappear. You're going to have to help me, though, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and close up my hand. So it's like that. It's like sort of that weird physics thing where until I open my hand, you don't know how many coins there are, right?
Okay.
I know because you made the picture in your head, right? And so
Right.
you saw the 4, right?
did.
Right, you did. So keep making that picture. But here's what I want you to do. I'm going to close my hand, and I want you to make a picture now instead of 4 coins, but of 3 coins. Now, to help you out with this, I find that if you involve the movement of the body in this, it helps. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to simply take a coin out. Or at least the idea of a coin. I'm going to have you hold on to it. Would you just hold on to it there? Perfect.
Sure.
Don't drop it. Don't lose it.
Wouldn't agree.
Thank you very much. Now, if you've made that picture correctly of the 3 coins, and I'm reinforcing it by having you just take that coin, maybe we can make that idea transfer over to reality. How many coins do you see?
I see 3.
Very good. So it's working. It's working. Okay? No, just 3. All right? We'll try it again, because this is one of those things that if it works once, maybe it's just a one-time thing. But maybe we can get it to work a second time. All right? So same deal. You see a picture of 3 coins.
I do.
And if I close my eyes, I can see the picture of 3 coins, and you can see the picture of 3 coins if you close your eyes. I will close the hand now, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm simply going to remove the idea of that coin. I'm going to hand it to you. Oh, well, let's try to keep them separate. There we go. Just in case. Just safety's sake, right? So if that's the case now, and if we're being successful, and try to change the picture in your mind too. So when in your mind, you can see that there's only 2 coins, right? Can you see that in your head?
I can see that.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open my hand, and we'll see if it.
Absolutely.
2 coins, right?
Right.
2 coins. His hands are full. I'll pick on you. Here you go. I'm just going to do. All I'm going to do is I'm going to close up my hand like this, and we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm not going to hand it to you. I just want you to reach to the back and grab just one. Oh no, just an imagination. Imagine. There you go. See, there you go. See, it was much easier that way. And look at him. He does a retention pass too. It's nice. Just forming for magician. So yeah, he's got another. It's magic. It's the Invisible Miser's Dream, boys and girls, coming to a DVD series near you. But if we did that, and if we all kind of imagine that there's just 1 coin, right? I don't know about you. I'm just seeing 1, but that's just me. Go ahead and put yours back in. I didn't hear anything. Doctor Who fan. But if you put it back in, it's going to change the picture. That's just how it's going to be. All right? Don't forget, I didn't forget about you. Don't worry. Okay? In fact, I'm going to let your imagination guide us to this last final part.
Okay.
You can do one of 2 things. You can either put one of the coins back, or put both of the coins back. Which do you prefer to do?
Just 1.
Just 1? Okay, go ahead. Put one of them back. All right? So how many would we see now if we're changing the images along with the whole experience?
3. There
Okay.
it is.
I'll tell you what, would you like to keep that one?
Oh, I'll give it back.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's try to get it, so if we can get that image or that whole idea, the concept of that coin back with the rest of them. Go ahead, just so it might help you, that helps me out. Now I can imagine easier in my head 4 coins, and maybe you can imagine seeing 4 coins as well. How's it look?
It's wonderful.
Great, give him a big round of applause. Thank you for helping out. So, interesting, different. Interesting, and it's kind of gets more close to that. This almost allows the coin magic to work into a Mendelism act in some way, or if you're dealing with psychology or humans' imagination. There are 2 tricks that this is based on. One is Garrett Thomas's Imagination Coins Across, which is one of the best coins across. There's going to be a new DVD coming out on that very soon, so look for it. I'm excited for it. He's got a lot of interesting work on it. It's going to be great. The other trick that this is based on is a trick right out of Coin Magic, Kaufman's Coin Magic, called Quadra Quicksand Coins Away by Jeff Latta, one of my favorite coin magicians. All we're doing here is, instead of using 4 coins in a shell, we're using 3 coins in a shell. It's going to get us in very clean positions very quickly. So the 3rd coin down is the shell. So I also love this trick because, you know how when I was doing the coins across, I actually had to put the coins in your hands? Maybe sometimes we look at spectators and we say, I don't want their grubby paws touching my coins. That's why I do peeks with my cards. You're not going to get your hands on my cards. I paid $70 for this deck of cards. You're not going to touch it. I don't want to touch it, right? So if we're here, what happens now is that I'm going to interact with you, and you're going to hold nothing, right? Sure. But by holding nothing, it's interactive. It's bizarre. It's really weird. Okay, so 4 coins. Well, actually 3 coins in a shell. So the first one's a gimme. I talk about the idea of the image and the idea of seeing 3 coins when just a moment before you say 4. If you can imagine seeing 3 coins instead, and I close up my hand, and as I close up my hand, I'm just nesting the shell. Why have we been working so hard this whole time? I'm just nesting the shell. When I open my hand, I say we've created the picture of the 3 coins, and we've reinforced it by you taking one of the coins, and I will mime at you to take a coin, right? And notice the importance of the miming gesture. I'll show you in a second. Now I open my hand, there's 3. I go over here to show 3 coins, and I toss back. I hold back 1 coin. And that's just friction. It's just I'm holding 3. I show a fan of 3 coins over here. Again, ostensibly I'm trying to be nice about it. I toss back 2 coins in the shell. So I can immediately unnest, and it looks like the picture looks exactly the same as before, right? except I'm holding it out over here. Now, as I close up, I'm going to nest again as I talk about the image of this coin, of the coins. And I'm going to mime taking a coin out and handing it to you. And I do that all with the coin in Ramsey finger palm. So they see empty hand, they see empty palm, right? You do your best not to flash the coin, and you just show you can do a little squiggly and give you the coin. Now, if the picture is going to match and if their imaginations are in sync, now we'll see two. And they see two. I'm going to hold back the coin with the shell. So the bottom coin is the coin with the shell, right? I'm going to just leave it there, friction pass, I'm going to just toss over 2. So now what was not inspectable now is. And now going back, I'm going to do the sneaky move that we taught at the very beginning, the click pass. And I immediately nest. So it's very fair. It's from here to here, to here. Back and forth in order to be fair. His hands are full, so I can't use you anymore, so I'm going to come to somebody else in the audience. I'll bring one person up, and I'll usually come out to someone in the audience just for this last coin. I'll have you mime taking the coin out, and if I want to, I can do this gesture, right? And again, I just have to watch my angles and what I'm faking. You go ahead, take one out. I've already nested the shell, right? Now, you can vanish this coin. This is one of the moments I've been doing the wave vanish. Because it's like we can all use our imagination to make that coin disappear, right? Just for a split second, because nothing really goes anywhere. So this is a nice moment. I didn't do it in the routine just because I was trying to move along here because somebody's like dancing over here and it's distracting me. Just kidding. So we're here. I asked you to put that one back. Go ahead and put it back. And then I just unnest the shell, and there's 2. Now the only problem here is I can't make noise because it's a shell. But it's all right because I'm going to do a shuttle pass. Right? As this hand closes up, I just kick back with the thumb, the 2 coins now. And so they hear the 2 coins. Now we're here for the big ending. And you can do a lot of different things here because he does have a choice. Because I have a shell. If I toss these 2 over now, he can put both back at once, or he can put one back at once. And it creates this wonderful illusion that you have control over things when I'm already got both endings taken care of. Put back 1. If you just put back 1 like you did, I open and show 3. If you then put the next one back, I open and unnest the shell. If you vote for yourself in your mind to put back both at once, I just unnest the shell. And then you have the 4 coins. And so it's a very interesting moment because you control the ending. And I've asked them when they've gotten down, when they put one back, I said, do you want to take that one home with you? And they some of them looked like, yeah, excited. I say, it's going to stay invisible. And that will usually get 70% of the time they'll give it back. But I've had a couple of people just decide like, no, I'll keep it. I was like, all right, well, we've used our imagination together. You get an imaginary coin to take home as a souvenir of the show. That one's going to be worth a lot. Put it under your pillow, and tomorrow morning it'll be a full $1.
They're showing off to their friends.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a invisible coin. Look at it. It vanishes and it reappears. It's amazing. You got to have extra coins to do that, though. So anyway. All right, and I call that invisible holding coins. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to show you. So anyway, why don't we do a little thingy where we do some question and answers, if you guys have some questions. And if we have people at home who are still conscious who would like to do some questions and answers, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Let's just move it.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Dave.
I know, people are talking and there's commentary, there's giggling. And there's packet tricks I got to organize.
Way to be ungrateful.
No, I would have been fine with it. Oh. So,
Hi.
I think that's the most coin magic I've seen in a long time.
Sorry.
Kind
did
of
I
a
just
nice break from all the card tricks.
Can you still hear me? Okay, good.
So on that subject, why coin magic? Why'd you stick with that rather than cards?
I mean, I do a lot of card stuff, but I don't do a lot of, I change things very little, so I feel like I really don't deserve to lecture on the card stuff. I mean, I do a couple card stuff for you, and so, but honestly, in my act, about 60% of my material is card stuff. My act for lay people. The rest of the time I do coin stuff. I think one of the reasons when people ask me why coins, I say, well, why not? But that's a silly answer. But think about it. If you're the guy that walks around and it's like, oh, you're the guy that, oh, did you see that guy do the card tricks he was doing? Right? It's hard to be different from the other magicians, right? Because a lot of people do cards. A huge percentage of humans who are magicians, which is an awkward concept, do cards, right? A huge amount of them do cards. So, what? Kangaroos are magicians. They tend not to. They got the built-in toppet. They do coins. It's harder for them. So I think sometimes a good way to differentiate yourself from other magicians is to do something else, and it could be sponge balls, but I think coins are a little more elegant, and they're shiny.
Yeah, definitely. I think also maybe an audience might see one card trick and kind of say it's a card trick. It's an awesome card trick. Maybe the coin.
Well, yeah.
They might describe something differently. The coin disappeared, or
It
traveled, or whatever.
Yeah, well, and it was Doc Eason, I thought, who said one of the best reasons I've ever heard for why to do coin magic, and it was, if you're going to open with a routine, don't start with a card trick. If you're going to open a set, don't start with a card trick. And the reason why was because he said that if you do that, you're going to seem like every one of their silly uncle that does bad card tricks. Does that make sense? Like, you got to differentiate yourself. And so his concept was, if I come out and I do a hardcore coin trick or something that really is visual, when the deck of cards then comes out, the people are all like, whoa, if he did that with the coins, imagine what he's going to do now, And so that to me I thought that was a great reasoning. And when I take coins out, people don't usually say, oh, I've seen that one before. Because I don't know if you notice, when I do my coins, about 60%, 70% of my coin work is coins appearing and disappearing. And not a lot of people do that. I'm all about producing the coins and making them disappear and then having them do something. And so they don't even have any time to actually say, oh, I've seen that one before, because they're like, whoa, I don't know what's happening here. So with the deck of cards, that's what they say.
What a criticism of coin magic is that it's basically...
I'm sorry, am I making fuzzy noises?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm just trying not to look. I'm trying not to look fat. Do I look fat? It's okay.
No, I'll take care of that.
We'll take care of that in post-op, post-editing, or just like CGI. I'm kidding. Please go.
But a criticism of coin magic is a lot of people say, well, it's always in the other hand, or that the coin magic might be oversimplified. It might be too easy to figure out.
Yeah.
I know that my attempts at coin magic has...
you're I know when my attempts at coin magic... You're like looking off in the space. Oh, it's great. I love it.
No, because it's really humbling, because I've done coin tricks, basically vanishing a coin, that kind of thing. But when it comes to performing for little kids... Yeah.
Kids are tough.
They always get me.
Yeah, kids are tough.
I think it's just their mind thinks, well... It must be in the other hand. Where an adult thinks, there's no way that I'm that stupid to fall for.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And for some reason, adults...
They always get you.
Yeah, little kids know what to do, which is why one of the things that you can do is, I do a one coin routine very often that I call the bachelor coin, because it's one coin routine, right? And it works in this sort of idea that if you're going to make a coin appear, you can't just make a coin disappear and then wait, right? The coin has to do something. But you notice with those three coins, with the table hoppers quattro that I opened with, each of those coins immediately does something. Whether it's going across to join the other one, whether it's going through the table, or whether it's going back in time, it's ending up somewhere. It's completing the arc, right? Because just doing this, if I just take a coin, and do that, that's only part of the magic. The vanish of the coin is only part of the magic. Something else has to happen. You need to complete in there. Think about it. Think about how horrifying the moment of a vanish is psychologically to people. We don't think about this, but if you think about it, it sounds like I'm being silly, right? But if you think about it, think about little babies, like what you do when you play peekaboo with them. right? There's that moment like peekaboo, right? You know, and there's that moment where it's hidden. They're like, oh, where'd it go? And then you go, they're like, ha, right? It's like a ha moment, right? And think about what's interesting about it. It's the moment of something vanishing, something disappears and then comes back. It's like, where'd the face go? Oh God, the face is gone. Vanishing a coin and not completing the circle, vanishing any object, is the equivalent of, instead of like a face coming back, like some sort of like horrific creature coming back, or something like just no face, just like nothing, right? It's psychologically kind of terrifying. The idea that, because you and I, if I look at an object and it's there, it's got to be there. If it's gone, that's a problem. Because that's not how objects work, which is why people are going to challenge you, which is why people are going to try to figure that out. So finding that balance is tough.
Yeah, I think it was Paul Harris that said something to the fact that if someone was able to make like a grain of sand disappear for real,
right,
it would be like a monumental thing. Like people would come from hundreds of thousands of miles away, just to see this grain of sand disappear.
Sure. It's not, size doesn't matter.
Yeah. But it's interesting just to stop and think about that sort of that approach to magic as well. If this was real, how would you process it?
Sure.
So
sure.
I wonder if you have that mindset when performing. Do you respect the magic more?
That
sort of approaching it with the idea that you could perform it as if it was real.
Oh, I think so. I mean, when I think about it in terms of what it's doing, I think about it in terms of, I think about it from my definition of magic, which is trying to create uncanny experiences in audience minds. And by uncanny, I just mean that idea of where something that's only like imaginary kind of happens, right? Because things shouldn't appear and disappear. But they shouldn't, right?
No.
So like with the last trick I did, when we're using our imagination to make things disappear, that's just weird. And it's potentially disturbing. And I'm trying to get people to that point where there's that, this could be very much be real. And I think if you have that mindset, or you come to the effect respecting that, it's very different from like having the, I was just hanging out in New York City with my friend Tony Chang, and he was talking about Paul Vigil, who was making fun of Tony, because it was like, well, what is your magic power? Your magic power is to make a card appear between two other cards. Wow. Right? And it's a very interesting way to think about it, right? If my magic power is that I can make solid metal objects appear and disappear, or that I can make something of intense value, I mean, each of these coins are worth about $20-25. I mean, that's magical. And sometimes I talk about this with my lay audiences. I talk about this is an old coin, that means it's actually it's back when they actually made money from valuable metal. Right? And so then it becomes something that's extremely meaningful when it disappears. Because like, where'd the heck the money go? Because I want that. So if you can make it as real and think about it as being as real as possible, I think, and at least in terms of what experience you want them to have, I think you're right. It's extremely meaningful.
Well, in your opinion, what makes a good trick or good routine?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, it's the technician in me says that I like. Well, for me, it's cleanliness of method meeting maximum experience of effect. Does that make sense? In other words, if I'm going to vanish, in other words, I move as little as possible to create the biggest amount of.
Okay.
So if I'm going to vanish a coin, how many fingers do I have to use? I just, if I just use that one, and I can get that moment of, that motion gets me this.
So the absence of appearance of method.
Yeah. To maximize effect, whatever the effect is. Keeping in mind that effect is always the thing that we're going for.
Yeah,
right?
I like that, and I think like Huffman and I were talking about this the other day, where if something looks like you didn't do anything, and then something great happens because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
sure.
That's a good trick.
I think when the magician is surprised, I think one of the big problems, one of the issues with magic is not what we do, but how audiences experience it. And audiences, it's not that audiences can't comprehend magic, it's that they don't know how to appreciate it. That's why, I don't know, I've worked for huge rooms, and I hit this moment, this crazy climax, and instead of people like just starting to applaud, the whole room's doing this. right? They're just like freaked out, which is what we want, right? But at the same time, the little ego performer in me wants, I want this, lots of it, right? And so it's how do we, when you and I go, if you go to a theater, if you go to see a play, you know at the end, you're supposed to sit there and applaud, right? But that convention works in the theatrical world, but for some reason that hasn't crossed over yet to the appreciation of audiences and how audiences appreciate magic.
So at what point did you sort of say to yourself, you know, I'm good now?
I'm hoping I'm going to say that tomorrow. I don't know.
The internet will determine.
The internet, yes. Oh gosh, yeah. See, I don't know about that.
Well, I think there's a point when you start to say, you know, I'm there, or I'm getting there, or.
Oh, okay. I got 2 stories for that. Yeah, here we go. One story is that when I first started performing, when I was a young magician, fresh out of the egg, I was performing. I was doing close up at Curtis's show, and instead of wearing a tie, I'd wear like a T-shirt. And this is before it was like hip street magic. I'm going to wear a T-shirt and perform, man, because I'm cool and groovy and a magician. Because we can't afford clothing. We can barely afford pants, you know. And then you know.
I got coins in these hands.
I got coins in these hands. Yeah. So, because of course now we all wear vests, right? That's how you know you're a magician. You all wear vests. So. And so I would do it. I would hit a table, and they'd look at me and go, wow, you're really good. And I was like, okay, that's good. That's positive feedback, right? But I didn't like the surprise. Like, why is there a tone of surprise? Like, wow, you're really good. I mean, can't you just think I'm going to be? Don't you think? So I got to wear a tie. Okay, so I wear a tie because then it'll be more professional. And then I come up, they'll expect it's going to be real magic, so I start wearing ties, which is a dumb thing to do when you live in Hawaii. Just stupid. Because I'm sweating like a pig, and I'm there, I'm like, da-da, and people are like, wow, you're really good. Like the surprise. I'm like, so I try to figure out, is it something I'm wearing? What is it I'm doing? And it went on for years and years and years until I did this one gig when I was working at University of Delaware. They had me host MC one of their performances, one of the little things they were doing. And I got done with it, and the woman came up to me afterwards and she said, wow, you're really good. That's the same thing. I was wearing a T-shirt then. I was like, well, screw it. Obviously, it doesn't matter what I wear. I'm just like sitting there like, why are people surprised? And then she completed the thought. She did the part that no one ever said to me before. And she said, I didn't know magic could be entertaining. I was like, what? And I think I actually said, what? And she was like, well, I only see magic like, a card trick here, maybe a clown at a birthday party. I never knew magic could be for adults and would be really interesting. It was really entertaining. She was flabbergasted by that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've been misinterpreting what people have been saying. So I realized that people are surprised. What I realized is that I guess I was good, but my definition of it, I didn't know. I was very spoiled growing up in magic, because I was hanging out with people like Curtis, and who's just all around really good. And so when that's what you do, you just assume everybody's really good. So I came to the mainland, and I tried out for the castle. I was a junior member at the castle. And I was watching the other 2 teams people were doing, and some of them were really good, and some of them not so much. And then I was doing crazy coin stuff. I mean, pretty much some of the stuff I was doing here. And they were like, Somebody came up to me, he's like, there are a lot of people here who can't do that. I'm like, okay, sorry. And I don't know if that even made me feel like I don't know if that made me feel like I was good. I don't know if it just made me feel kind of sad. I don't know.
I think that what happens is like you touch people on that personal level. Where they just want to just tell you, okay, well, you did it. You got me.
You got
there.
me, yeah. That's why I've always liked close up, because when you're up on stage and the lights are in your eyes, and you don't get to see their responses. But when you're right there and it's in their hand and it's happening to them, and they respond, to me is that moment when you get to see the eyes get bigger or the mouth drop or whatever it is. That to me is that moment where like, yes, I touched you, and it was all legal.
Well,
wow.
The stock answer to this question is Bobo's Coin Magic. When
yes.
recommending a book to a beginner. But we all know that.
Yeah.
Go buy Bobo. It's like $6 at the store. I've heard people say that's the only book that you really need. If you're only going to buy one book.
Well, if you're only going to buy one book, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what.
But another book suggestion other than Bobo. For a beginner.
For a beginner, Shigeo Furugawa's Introduction to Coin Magic is really good and often overlooked. Shigeo Furugawa's Introduction to Coin Magic. Very simple line drawings, so some of the techniques are difficult to perceive. Some of that Bill Tarr stuff, Now You See It, Now You Don't, is another one I think of oftentimes in terms of basic. And then, of course, Downs' book?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Downs' book is scary.
Oh, I like that.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
There's all those shots, and he's got that crazy fingernail. The pinky. He's got this long, I don't know what he's doing with that pinky. But I look at those pictures. I'm like, what? I don't understand. It's very scary.
Well, you got to do it to.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, I guess that's what it. I guess. No, Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, beginner stuff. I think you're right. Is hard to come by.
On the topic of Bobo, what are 3 things, if you can think of 3 things that Bobo got wrong?
Oh, well, first of all, he's got
It might be more than 3
funny.
things.
No. I think the book cries out for more illustrations. Number 1, right? I like illustrations, but I like to read stuff, and I think you learn a lot by reading and making mistakes. Because I know a lot of people where I would read a trick and I'd learn the trick, and then I would show it to someone, and they'd go like, "That's not it." But that's pretty good, but that's not it. And so I misread it, and by virtue of the misreading, I still created something, right? And so that's not bad. I think the photograph of classic palm, or the drawing of classic palm in Bobo's, is a little misleading.
Yeah.
Because the position, I keep meeting people, and they keep coming to me and help me with that classic palm. And it's because they're pushing it too far over. In the Bobo's drawing, it looks like it's almost over here on this line of the hand, the heart line. But reality, it's really more like this side. It's more along this side. But the life head, huh?
Head and life.
The head, it's more like towards the headline, not towards the heart line. And the Bobo's drawing is ambiguous. So I think it's messed up whole generations of people in terms of trying to put their classic palm in the right place. Because if you're over here, you're always going to get that clawy thing. You're going to get that clawy thing. You might as well just do like a hand puppet. You're not going to get that extension of the cleanliness. If you move it over a little bit though, and it's just the thumb. Here. Take the coin out of my classic palm. How hard was I holding on to the coin?
Yeah, again, not enough.
Yeah. So if you find the right sweet spot, you can make sure that the subtlety can remain. So I think Bobo's misled a bunch of people that way.
I also heard he wrote a book on card magic.
Did he?
That was
terrible?
supposed to be terrible.
I don't know.
Maybe that's another thing he got wrong. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
This is just stuff you hear late night at magic conventions.
I guess so.
One of my favorite things from that book is, which I've never seen in my life, but I would love to see perform, is cuffing.
Oh, yeah. I nailed myself once. I fooled the crap out of myself once because I cuffed the coin and had no clue.
Can you explain what cuffing is?
Sure. Cuffing is the idea is that back in, when we were more elegant in terms of our dress, and people would have, or if you're like here with your, so you have this, you're going for this look of whatever this is. Like my jeans are, I don't know how to buy jeans.
Yeah.
Or my mommy still dresses me. I don't know. Whatever. So I was okay. I kid. So if you have that little bit of cuff there, and so back in the 80s when I was growing up, I think we all had that sort of
the prep roll.
The prep roll, right?
That's right.
And so there was.
Pegging.
Pegging, is that what it's called?
That's right. Yeah. Us West Siders on the hilltop call it prep roll.
Oh God. So anyway, so there's one time I was just sitting there practicing and I dropped the coin and it was gone. I had no clue. I never heard it hit the floor. I never felt it. So I had no idea where it was, and I realized it. And so I've stood there in a room and tried to chuck coins at my cuff if I had a cuff before, but
Yeah, somebody needs to bring it back.
Someone, I think vesting is something people could bring back because we're all vesting stuff, and vesting. You tuck the stuff right underneath here and then expand.
Oh.
Have you seen the effing coins DVD?
I have not watched it. All I've seen is the footage, the trailer. Yeah, looks interesting. Some of the stuff looks really fun. I like the fact that they just went for creating angry mobs with titles. I should just do that. I mean, just like.
Yeah,
Sorry, the titles are coming in my head. I just whoosh, don't say them out loud. No, effing Harbottle.
Yeah, it's because coin magic's not very controversial. So
you guys got to give it a name. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. That's interesting.
They made. I don't know. I thought it made coin magic look a little bit.
Trying to be a little more funky, a little more edge.
But
I don't know.
Which helps me get to my next question. What do you think is a mistake that's made by a lot of younger coin magicians, newer coin magicians?
Boy, I think one of the things I've been talking about all night is being gentle. Be nice to your coins, and they'll be nice to you. I think a lot of beginners just start with that death grip mode, and they think that if I hold it tight enough, no one's ever going to see it. Because coin magic is really scary, isn't it? If you think about it, because if I'm going to palm a card off the top of the deck, if the heat starts to get bad or things get really nasty, and this sort of like doing this or any sort of like position, right, where you're concealing the card and palm. Worst comes worse, I just take the card and put it right back on the deck. I just square up the deck and put it right back on. So I have an object that can help me conceal the object I need to conceal. Does that make sense? If the fires get too hot. With coins, it's just you in the hand. And you're just screwed, right? You're just there, and it's going to be, you got to fool them or you're not going to. So I think it's a very uncomfortable position. I think a lot of beginners just hold on to it a little too tight. I think a lot of beginners, the second thing, and this might be even more important, is that beginners don't spend enough time doing mirror work. And if they do, they don't do. There's that moment where you have to. There's that difference between practice and practicing. You got to make sure you're practicing the right move, right? Then there's the muscle memory. There's actually being able to do the move, which is going to be very different from the muscle memory of requiring the move, of getting the move down. So first you have to make sure you're doing it correctly. And then you can go back and say, okay, now I got this correctly. Now I can start doing the motion over and over and over again. Right? And that's it, right? So you got to check it out first, and then keep going. Yeah. The muscle pass, the fingertip muscle pass. Yeah. That's just right.
What about a mistake that older coin magicians, more experience?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'd say it's. I mean, honestly, for me, I think it's getting stuck in a rut where I'm kind of back to doing the same thing. I know lately I've been doing a lot of different coin stuff than I used to do. Then it makes me feel much happier because a lot of the new stuff, like that last vanish sequence I was showing you. I mean, compare the last vanish sequence I was showing you where I was just squeezing, imagine the coins vanishing, to the, now you're going to put one here, and I hang this one here and put this one here. It's a very different pacing, and it involves the audience in a very different way. And so I feel like I had to kind of go through that space of, I need to nail people visually. And then now I'm kind of at the point of trying to nail people psychologically. And I think the latter is one works better on screen, and I think the other one works much better in personal interaction.
Speaking of personal interaction, this is a question here, and it's to quote Garrett Thomas. He says that you should be yourself in your magic. Okay.
Okay.
And but some of us, not me, of course, are kind of don't have a lot going on socially, or they're just some people, let's be honest, just love to sit around and practice magic all the time.
I didn't know what he was going to say at the last part. Someone just sit around and think moist and kinky thoughts.
What do you say? And I mean, should you use that as a character? That hey, I'm just a a guy that does card tricks all day or all day, or should you create a character?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Josh J had that great show, right? Where it was about him kind of being a card trick nerd. What do you do? What's the first thing you do in the morning? I get up and I do card tricks. This is how I practice my art. And so by virtue of making it theatrical, he was able to raise the art form. So I thought, to speak to what you were just saying, I think that's part of it. I think a lot of people do magic for interesting reasons. Why do we do magic? Why do you do magic? Don't have to answer that. I mean, And so I think coming to it, I think we have a responsibility as magicians that every time we perform, if you think about magic, the problem with the word magic is that there's no real definition to the word magic, right? It means so many different things to so many different people. If I tell them I'm a magician, they're going to be like, it's just going to be their definition of magic, right? So unless they're your buddies and you do a lot of stuff for them, you see them a lot, and they know, oh, he's a magician. Now he does that trick with the cards, and they go up his nose, and they come out again, and they're dry. Whatever it is, I don't know. But as magicians, we have a very important responsibility, I think, to convince, to define what magic is to people. And that's why every time we perform, it has to be good. Because otherwise, we get back to the situation that I was in, where people were looking at me and saying, I didn't know magic could be entertaining, which is really sad and depressing and weird. If that's the experience that they've had with magic, then something needs to be done. So I guess it comes back to this idea of character, is that you have to ask yourself, I think character is a dangerous conversation. That's a whole other thing. I don't know what to do with character sometimes. I love the concept of it, but I think it can be a slippery slope. But I think you need to decide why you're in magic and what you want to accomplish with it, I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes when the character's too strong, I think maybe the audience might think, okay, this person takes himself way too seriously.
And they don't quite, And then it becomes theater that has magic in it and not magic. Because, I'm not doing a character when I'm performing for you people. I make weird noises all the time and say strange things. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
And if I can do that while doing weird sleight of hand, I don't know, it's just me.
So you're just being yourself.
I actually, my wife thinks this is very funny because I actually consider my performance persona as a different person. And I know I have a good show that when I go home, I don't remember the show that occurred. I remember bits and pieces, but I don't really remember it because I was in such a weird mode that I don't quite remember what the heck happened. As I'll be performing, I'm like, oh, I got to remember this part. I got to write this down because I'm just jamming. I'm just coming up with stuff as I'm going along. And I'll get home. I was like, oh, what was that part again? Oh, I've become a different person. And he's very much like me because he's a little angrier. He's a little weirder, and he's more likely to say things that I'm not going to say out loud. So I try to tone him down a little bit, but I like him because he doesn't give a flying Fruit Loop. He just goes sometimes and does scary. He just grabs people. He just does weird things, and I like that about him. And so sometimes I can write for him and come up with stuff for him, but sometimes I just have to unleash him on people. And so I do talk to him and talk about him in the second person because I do feel like he's different.
So what was it, a card trick or a coin trick or maybe something else that got you into magic?
I had a teacher, my English teacher in 8th grade did card magic. And it's funny now, thinking back on it, now that I've been a teacher for over a decade, I wonder if I think there's just some days he didn't have a lesson plan. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it's like he just did, but it was so much fun because Brad Kerwin is, I think, one of the most gifted storytellers I'd ever seen, and he does these really technically these card tricks aren't like they're not going to be they're not knuckle busters anyway, but he could tell a story, and that's what made us all enjoy it. So we would hang out with him, and a bunch of us, there were about 6 of us who became the Magic Mafia. And would do birthday parties for people our age and people older. And we were all of us had various performance backgrounds and were into magic and comedy and other things. performance in general.
Arts, yeah.
Performance arts in general. So that's kind of
things.
the other thing. So that's how I got. That's how I got into it. Is just having a teacher that was started with a couple card tricks, and from there it just blossomed.
So what do you think keeps you going? I mean, you've been doing it for so long.
I don't know. I just realized that this is my old couch from IKEA. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yep, it is.
I don't know.
Did
I
you
mean,
have the same problem with the...
it does. It comes off. The
Yeah.
thing comes off. Yeah.
Oh,
And the other problem is that the crumbs and stuff will get down in the thing. They'll get down in it. You'll lose something. What is this? It's like magic. It's like, yeah.
there's a weird gray tube that's in the back.
Oh, that's in the
there
back
that
there.
pops out
I eventually took it out because it kept popping out. Yep.
We took it out.
You take it out. That's what you do.
Yeah,
You take it out.
yeah.
That's what you do.
I think I was taking a nap on there once, and
And there's the two other little ones. Did you already lose the little ones? Because there are little ones that go on the side.
Oh, yeah, those
in the
are
little...
Those are gone. Those are the first ones to go, and then you take out the... So IKEA's doing some good work. I mean, there's a lot of IKEA here, and I'm a big fan of IKEA. If they would like me to promote them, I can say strange Swedish words. Their meatballs are awesome.
They are awesome.
I used to, when I was living by myself, I'd buy two frozen packages of those, and that'd be like 2 weeks of life right there.
This is...
I'm hungry.
Pontus is from Sweden. He's probably thrilled.
You probably feel. I mean, that's all America knows of your culture.
They...
like, yeah.
We know that what we know of France is French fries, and we know of that's a joke. Okay, and we know from IKEA is I mean that's yeah. So cool. Thank you for your gift to our culture. Of cheap
To assemble.
and easy to assemble furniture.
I didn't tell
That
you
I
this,
love.
but every week
You go to IKEA?
I somehow forced the lecturer to talk about IKEA.
Do you really?
No.
Are you getting a little money on the side every time? It's like, dude, oh, come on. It's a small niche market, but these magicians will buy. They'll buy. You talk about enough, they'll buy. If Penguin sold IKEA decks of cards, this would all be over. This would all be over. Come on. I didn't answer your question too. What was your question? Because it was a good question. Why do I keep doing it? That was what it
why
was.
do you keep doing it? So you can afford to buy.
So I can afford to buy IKEA furniture. I do it because I love the experience. I grew up doing theater. I was on stage when I was in kindergarten. And just from there, I just kept moving and moving and moving. And then when I got around 8th, 9th, 10th grade, there was something about acting that's fun. If you think about theater, theater is an art form that works because lots of people are involved, right? Everyone, the lighting guy and the sound guy and the guy opening the curtains and closing the curtains and all that stuff has to work together to support the actors and all that sort of stuff. But with magic, if you're doing stage, it's more similar to that. But if it's just you in a bar, it's just you by yourself, and you got to go around smacking people with magic. Come on, you got to have something in order to do that. And I think that is really, I think that's a really powerful position to be in. I like that. I like that authority of having those moments that I'm the director, I'm the actor, I'm the editor, I'm whatever it is. I'm the writer. I'm doing all the artwork that goes into it. But I don't know if that answers why I keep going. I'm fascinated by it. There's something every day I wake up and there's something new about it and something intriguing about it. And I honestly like the people that are involved in it too. I think that's another part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people, man.
I don't like people in general. I'm not a people person. But some magicians are
That's
just...
a great career to become a teacher, you know? I mean,
Well, then you're a totalitarian, you know? You don't care. You're just like, oh, B for you, C for you, A, B, you know? But no,
it is a way to get back, right?
It is. Well,
Revenge of the Nerds.
No, I don't know about that. I enjoy what happens. I actually enjoy those moments. I think it's as close as I get to conventional drug use, is those moments where I'm performing and I kind of forget myself and I become this other person. It happens to me in the classroom too, but teacher kind of connects the dots. And you can actually, if you ever go into my classroom after I teach, the blackboard's just covered with writing and stuff where I've just been drawing things and writing things and trying to make connections for the students in terms of how does all these things work together. And what usually would happen, even on even on bad days, is that something would suddenly all click and coalesce, and I'd be able to say something intelligent that I didn't know about earlier that day. But by virtue of things that the students would say and that I would be experiencing, I could give them back something of interest. And I think that's what happens with magic. Because it's not just about, because if I sit there and I do this for you, make the coin vanish, and you just look at me like, that's nothing. Audiences need to give something back, right? They do. And good audiences do, whether it's surprise, whether it's amazement, whether it's anger, whatever it is, right? There is that moment with the thing that does make theater, magic, thing that does make theater like magic is that, I'm just joining in, I don't want you to feel bad. The thing that does make theater, magic like theater is that it's about that moment of, theater doesn't happen here on stage or there in the audience's head, it happens somewhere in the middle. Same thing with magic. Magic doesn't hear but in Mr. Magician's hands or in the audience's brains. It happens somewhere in between. It's a give and take.
You have a doctorate in Victorian literature.
I do.
Changing subjects.
I know, I made a lot of bad life choices, kids.
And
I sit around and do this all day long, and then I got a doctorate in English.
just to educate everybody else, not me, I know, but what is the Victorian period?
Victorian period, well, it depends on who you ask, but it's roughly from Victoria's reign, so we're talking the 1830s to around the 1901-ish when she dies, but there's an Edwardian period, and there's a lot of weirdness going on. Or is it 1905 she dies? Sorry. And so it's when Queen Victoria reigns, the longest reigning monarch, and I think Queen Elizabeth II is about to beat her, or is going to beat her mark pretty soon. So it's
longest.
Yeah, for the longest reigning monarch. And I think what's interesting about Victoria's reign is what's important about the later years, like from the 70s on, is that's when magic takes off. And magic is what we, and I'm fine with the people, and I think it's very interesting when people talk about magic, not from the perspective of where it really came from, which is late Victorian England, or late Victorian period, the 19th century, where people are still trying to figure out what is scientific and what isn't. And magic kind of preyed upon those sort of moments. And I think what's interesting, like people go back to the ancient shamans in the forest who were the tribal leaders and all that sort of stuff. Magic as we know it, commercial, mass-produced magic, occurred in the Victorian age. That's when it starts. And that's exactly the moment that it becomes the most popular. We tend to think of Victorian age as the golden age of magic, right? That's what people tend to think of it. Maybe it's the late 19th century all the way up to the early 20th century. And that's, I just ended up studying that period. And I was part of an excuse to write off buying more magic books.
So is there a lot of magic published in that?
Crap loads. Well, if you think of Professor Hoffman, that's when he's functioning, that's when he's doing his stuff. There's a lot of magic going on, and Hoffman almost single-handedly creates this industry by virtue of publishing stuff all over the place and I think we would have been horrified because I think we would have seen it as, and some people did get angry at Hoffman as someone exposing magic. People did complain about him, and other magicians got grumpy. But by the time he was done, and this market, more and more people start writing about magic and explaining magic to people, and it just explodes, you get this world where a lot of people did magic, and a lot more people knew about magic than they do today. So it'd be easy to have a very well-known magician be the subject of a political cartoon, right? And the idea that the only way you'd get that is if you knew the magician. So why is Punch, which was this Victorian, very funny social commentary periodical, would do this? You look at it, you open it, and you realize that they're making fun of John Neville Maskelyne, and they're using one of his illusions to make fun of a serious situation in Russia, between Russia and Serbia. And who's going to get that? Who today, so the question is, who gets to be used, what magician's trick today would be used as a political cartoon? Clinton was goofing off. People were doing a 3-shell game with him. There's a famous one of that. But it's not like someone's suddenly drawing Obama over floating over the pyramid in Vegas, you know what I mean? Or walking up the side of a wall and saying Obama trying to fix healthcare, you know what I mean? Nobody cares. Nobody's using Chris Angel as that.
Thank God.
Nobody's using Blaine like have Obama as Blaine like trying to like ripping the head off the chicken, and that's like Obama taking out the Republicans. No one cares. The magic didn't have that. It was everywhere, and a lot of people knew about it. Because if you think about it, there was no YouTube, there's no computers. There's very few forms of mediated entertainment at the period, so people went and saw a lot more live magic, live performance, whether it was magic or something else. So magic was all a part of that. So there was a lot of performance, there was a lot of write-ups.
Yeah, that's interesting thought, because I've always wondered how there could be one period where there's so many options for people to go see a magician perform. And I was talking to Garrett Thomas about this, and he raised an interesting point. And it's basically saying that we don't have those audiences anymore because we convince them to become magicians.
That's interesting, yeah.
Because when someone likes magic, what do?
Yeah.
You should buy a magic.
Sure. No, I think Garrett's right about this. Yeah. I remember he said this to me before too, and I think that's true. Although if you look at the time period, the original period, they're coming to take me away. They're coming to take me away.
This actually does happen.
This does happen every week?
Yeah,
it does?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's nice to know that there's always emergency at this time every night. Yeah, somewhere else at least. I know. Thank God.
Very high crime area.
Oh, cool. I'm feeling so much better. Better and better every moment. Lots and lots of house fires.
Yeah, also that.
Oh, really? Okay. But I think that's interesting. I think the larger problem is that there are so many other forms of entertainment today that are just easier to manage going to, that you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. And think about it, in the 19th century, you would have had to go places to see. How often do you go to see live performances? You come here, right? But you're magicians. Other than going to see magic, how often do you go to see live performance? Not often.
Hardly ever.
Yeah, because we have our iPads, and I don't want to sit next to somebody. People are stinky. I can watch whatever I want at home, and my comfort, and laugh, and still feel like I'm not missing something. In fact, if you go to the theater and you have to sit next to people, you go to a movie theater and you sit over here, and they sit, you put the coat there, so you make sure you put the coat here, and you're in like something else, like a popcorn here, so you don't want to sit next to anybody. We don't want to have to interact with people. And you think in the 19th century, it was all about people. Yeah. Let me know what movie theater you're going to. We'll talk about it. No, but if you... Okay, cool. That's where the fire department's going.
Otherwise.
Hosing down the people. So what I think would be interesting is if it was a world where we had to be around other people, that was the only way that you didn't get bored. You had money, you had to go out and spend it. If we weren't spending it on our Netflix and on our computers and on our internet connection, what would we be spending it on? And we didn't have those things to turn to. And you wanted to go see entertainment. If you think about the popularity of entertainment today, and say that it was entertainment was just as popular then, people had to get out and go do stuff and go see it. So I think part of it was that, we've changed the possibilities of people who like magic. I think Garrett's right in that, but I think also the very nature by which we consume entertainment has changed drastically in the last 100 years or 50 years or 10 years, and we're still figuring it out. I think magic's going to make a comeback, because I think live interaction, and God bless you folks for doing this sort of thing, for getting this sort of live, to figure out a way to mediate the liveness so that there's still interaction, but we can still deal with the humans at home, right? So it can still live as an archival learning experience. But we still get the idea that this is playful, this is interesting, this is interactive. I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to remember every single one of you.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, you guys have been great. I really have to say, I've been having a good time, and it's not because give yourselves a round of applause, because you're like, yay, because pat on the back, because I wouldn't be having fun if you were interesting, so I'd be grumpy by now and then spitting on you.
Well, that's all that I have. Sorry.
Before he spits on humans, let's get the heck out of here. Yeah.
He's gonna spit on all of us.
Yeah.
But did you have any final words that you want to? I was thinking about what we've been talking about, and
I don't know. I think I would encourage people to think about magic in terms of an art if you can, and think about what it is that you want to do with it, and to take that responsibility that I'm talking about seriously, because I think it is responsible. The last thing I'll do is, I only have this for you because people were asking about it, is that because I've been playing with this goblet all night long, and I've been playing with the coins all night long, but I figured what we'll do is something a little different. I don't know if you noticed, but does that have a familiar ring to it? Which means we've gone in a full silver circle for your entertainment this evening. Thank you, Curtis Scam, for that line. And thank you all for coming, because I've been having a really great time. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks for joining us on Penguin Live. We'll see you next week.